Hello, and thank you for joining me. This is Taylor Talks Comics. Appreciate you being here. Make sure to hit the like button, subscribe, comment down below, all that jazz. Helps the YouTube algorithm put my videos in front of the eyeballs of other comic book fans that might not know my channel exists. And all of that doesn't cost you a dime, just a little bit of your time. But today is a special episode. I'm doing an interview with one of my favorite cartoonists going today. And my guest hails from Tasmania, Australia, where he started publishing his own mini comics and zines at the ripe age of 8 years old, continuing this practice until his high school years, where a principal with zero eye for talent told him he couldn't not just go around making his own magazines. So my guest gave a double middle finger to the education system and set forth on a path to travel the world, spreading his comics and zines around everywhere he could, planting his flag in London, Seattle, back to Australia, now California. My guest has gone on to have 8 collected works published by Fantagraphics, has been nominated for multiple Ignatz, Angoulême, and Eisner awards, the latter of which he's won 2, and has now had his work published in 13 languages. My guest today is the prolific and amazing Simon Hanselmann.
Oh, hey Taylor. Hey everyone who's watching. How you doing?
Great. How are you?
Pretty good. Yeah, no, busy. Dropped the kid off at school. Hour and a half round trip driving in LA traffic. Took a meeting, and now I'm here with you to talk comics.
Hour and a half every day, round trip?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Our kid goes to a private school. We don't want to send her to a public school. I was bullied mercilessly. You mentioned like my high school there with the shit principal, but yeah, I was mercilessly bullied and had the shit beaten out of me regularly in public school. So
I know what that was
my
like,
child goes to private school.
Makes sense. Have you ever heard back from any of your principals or teachers or anything?
No, I don't think so. Mr. Brown I dropped out of high school, but then I went back and did like year 11 and stuff. And Mr. Brown, he was really supportive, but he was busted in a porn sting. I saw it in the newspaper years later, like, oh, it's Mr. Brown. He was running like a gay porn website in Tasmania and got busted by the cops. It's a bit homophobic down in Tasmania. It was illegal to be gay until 1997 in Tasmania. So Mr. Brown got done. But he was very supportive. He never tried to fuck me or anything. He was just legitimately just liked my comics. I think. I don't know. He didn't try and get me on the side. But I've never talked to any of my teachers. I don't know. All my art teachers are pretty shit. I had a rough time at school, and I don't know. They're all dead now, probably. I hope so. I hope they're all in the ground.
You never sent them any of your books or a copy of like your Eisner Award or anything and said like "F you," like you should have seen the talent.
I don't even talk to my family, so I wouldn't know how to get in contact with teachers. Yeah, I don't know.
Just send them to the school. Send a whole box of books to them and say, like, look at this.
Well, I am the second most famous person from my high school. There was the blonde girl who was in like the early Michael Bay Transformer movies, Rachel something.
Oh, okay.
Fell off from fame, but maybe she's still out there. I don't know. Sorry, Rachel, if you're watching. Probably not, but yeah, I'm probably the second most famous person from my school. So maybe I should send a copy of Mega Hex down to the school with a picture of me going, yeah, fuck yeah.
Yeah. I do want to mention you currently have a series coming out right now. You Will Own Nothing and You'll Be Happy. The 4th issue dropped recently. When did it? In the last couple months or so?
Oh, gosh, probably August or July or something now. Okay. Too long ago. Yeah.
And on Simon's shop, which I'll link down below in the description, he's got issue 4 and a mini comic for sale right now. Issues 1 through 3 are out of print, but the good thing is that Simon has like a little catch-up thing on the inside cover, a little catch-up to what you've missed out on.
That'll catch him up.
Yeah, and I have to say, one of the best uses of a belly band I've ever seen on a comic.
Oh yeah.
Have an inside comic on the inside of the belly band. I think, was there an issue of Kramer's Ergot that did that?
There was a belly band, but there was nothing inside. I think there was the Kramer's I was in, issue 10, the last one. But Sammy Harkham is drunk or something. I don't know. He doesn't know what he's doing. He didn't think to put something on the belly band.
But that's the kind of quality and presentation you can expect from Simon.
Well, Klaus will do stuff like that, like the 8-ball box set. It's like it's printed on the inside.
Oh, yeah.
It's like, mwah.
That's one of my favorite things in my collection is that box set. It's one. I love all the different paper stocks too. How he mirrored it to look like the paper stock of the original issues.
Yeah. They
Beautiful
work hard for
presentation.
Klaus over at Fanta. They're scared of him, as they should be.
Well, I mean, as far as book design goes, which I admire very good, book design. I think all of your books are immaculately designed, which you design most of them yourself, right?
Yeah, I think the only one where I had any input was Bad Gateway, where Keely McCarthy, who's a great designer, was at Fanta at the time, helped out. I think essentially I was almost dead. I'd worked my fingers to the bone over that year, 2018, and when it came time to designing the cover at the end of the book, I was spent. I was probably just almost having a nervous breakdown. It was too much work. It was insane. So yeah, Keely helped out, and it worked out well in the end, but it didn't go too smoothly. I don't work too well with other designers. So yeah, but yeah, thank you for saying that I do an all right job on my own, Taylor.
Yeah. So what was the choice? Because Bad Gateway is like a European album style, which I think
Yeah.
you draw on computer paper, right? Which I think is
Uh,
wild.
I was using watercolor paper for that I imported from Australia, but I do use a lot of computer paper these days
Okay.
because I do more black and white stuff.
So what was the size of the paper you're drawing on for Bad Gateway?
I think that's printed almost just the actual size of the
Oh, okay.
originals. Yeah.
That's what I was wondering.
Yeah.
'Cause I know you usually use like 8.5 by 11 computer paper, right? This is
Yeah.
about that. But
Yeah.
what was the
Originally,
choice to do this bigger than like the other ones are smaller collections?
I wanted it to be more prestige because at the time that was like moving on and like pushing the story forward. And I thought, yeah, let's go big. Let's differentiate it from what came before and do the big album. And originally, that had like a big white header on it with like weird lettering, and no one liked it. So I had to extend the painting so we could put that. My wife actually suggested make it look like a Vogue magazine cover, and we put that sort of
Oh,
lettering up there that Keely designed. And there was problems with the back cover. I wanted to have that sticker on there, but Keely tried to put just like a black bar. Like she pushed the image up and just put a black bar down the bottom. So
yeah.
the whole top third of the image was gone, and it was too simple. I wanted the sticker. I fought for that sticker.
Did you fight for
It
the?
turned out great in the end,
It's got some like
yeah,
gilded
and the
edges too.
black gilded edges. Yep,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. It was a tough one. I was very exhausted at the end of fucking 2018. My god. And then that came out, and then I was going to do Meg's Coven, the next book, and then the fucking pandemic happened.
Yeah. So Meg's Coven is like the albatross. I feel like of your career at this point. You've
It's
been
my Winds of Winter.
yes. But
The Bad Gateway that you were holding there, that is chapter 1 of Meg's Coven. I could have called that Meg's Coven, but it just wasn't Coven-y enough because in the next chapter, Meg is actually with her family and like the Coven, like her mother and
okay.
grandmother. So I thought, oh, I'll call it Bad Gateway. It's kind of like, gateway drugs. And it's like, this is a bad, like a gateway into Meg's Coven. So it technically is the first chapter, but yeah, I've been
So
promising Meg's Coven for years and just can't get there.
well, I know you've talked about it being like a 400-page kind of ambitious project. Do you still think it's going to clock in around 400 pages?
Oh, I mean, I've written like 5 books worth of material for it. I went nuts one night recently writing it and just like got locked into the zone and wrote so much good stuff for it. I'm not locking it in with a publisher. Like my plan right now is to do it online to motivate myself to get it out there and have that public pressure to produce the work. I don't know when I'll be able to start doing that ASAP. But yeah, I'm just going to let it breathe and just be as long as it needs to be. When there's enough material, edit it, subtract, add, do it for a book. But I'm a self-publisher these days. You make more money
Yeah.
self-publishing, but even that's challenging though with all the postage prices. It's kind of everything's up in the air right now in comics right now, Taylor. It's fucking difficult. I got people out there having trouble fucking selling books and getting by. It's really fucking rough.
Yeah, that's something that I admire too on Manga Chat, which is your podcast video YouTube channel, which I'll link down below as well, that you do with Josh Pettinger. Pettinger, is it Jur or Gur?
Pettinger.
Jur, okay.
That's what I say, Pettinger. He's never corrected me. I say Pettinger. He's never corrected me.
Maybe it's Pettinger, and you haven't known all these years.
He's scared of me.
But you do the YouTube channel with him, and you're very forthright about those kinds of things like self-publishing and the money you make, and talk about how you do make more money from this than you do from the collected editions, which is wild to me, but it makes sense.
Yeah, the books, everyone has to take their cut with the mainstream, book market books. You get
of course there's
10%.
like the advantage of having like the publicity behind, the marketing publicity behind.
Well, yes, sometimes like Josh's book came out, a Tedward book came out with Fantagraphics, zero press. I mean, my wife worked at Fantagraphics like 15 years as the publisher, and Tucker Stone came in, and I don't know. I think you're working on like 100 books a year in that position. So I think some things have to go to the wayside, and Tucker was coming in and facing a lot of stuff. So yeah, Josh's book got no press. So really, I said to Josh, you may as well have just fucking self-published it, because you would have, instead of making like $1 per unit, you would have made like, you know, $25 or something. So you'd sell less. Well, then would he sell less if there's no press? Maybe, yeah.
Well, funny enough, Tucker Stone actually sent this out to me for a review copy.
Oh, he did.
So
good. Okay, I'm glad.
So I did a review on this, a video.
Yeah. I watched it. I saw your review of it. Yeah.
But no, I understand. Yeah, your wife. I watched the interview that you guys did with her as well. Fascinating stuff. I would love to do an interview with her as well, just because I think that side of like the comic book industry is really interesting. The fact that she worked 15 years at Fantagraphics, and she worked at Dark Horse before that, and now she's with Abrams, right?
Yep, with Abrams now.
Just really just fascinating stuff on that end of things that you don't really hear that kind of perspective.
Well, yeah, I've always been obsessed with the marketing side and the business side of comics. I remember talking to Heidi McDonald at, like, outside drinking, smoking at SPX like 10 years ago, and she was like, "Oh, Simon, you seem so switched on with all the, you know, the industry stuff and marketing stuff." And like, it's interesting. I was like, "Of course, like it's part of it. It's, you can't just make the comics in a vacuum. You have to, you know, be a savvy marketer, and it's part of it."
Did that go hand in hand with when you like started your relationship with your wife, or was that something like the marketing of it? Is it something you had your eye on before that?
I think it was part of what attracted to me, just her intense marketing acumen. I was just like, damn, this woman can market. Like, and yeah, she marketed her heart to me, and I took it. Yeah, no, we love talking about marketing stuff. I mean, you know, I'll help her with stuff. She'll help me with stuff. Like, we'll just sit around, just like, you know, having a big marketing bee in the nights. We love it. We just get high on marketing. That's our drug of choice.
One thing I do love about your self-published stuff, which you don't get these in the collections, which you can't see it on my lighting there. There it is. The waffle in the back, as you call it.
Like Dave Sim.
Yeah, you write this in here, and like this is like fascinating. Like, this is worth the price of admission alone, I think. There's just so much insight.
It adds value. I think that's my thinking. Like, it's nice to be communicative outside of the internet, where you can get pilloried, where you get a bunch of snarky cunts come in and making fun of you and being mean and like, fuck off. And that doesn't really bother me. It's like water off a duck's back. I'm not really bothered by that bullshit. But yeah, it's just nice to talk to the fans, be open about stuff, be honest about stuff, talk about the realities of things, and it adds value. Like, you know, comics cost a lot of money these days. You read them real quick. If there's 4 pages of like aggressive walls of text in the back of a book, I'm like, oh, awesome! I've got extra stuff to read on the toilet. You know? It adds value, Taylor.
I will say, I know you often talk about the shipping prices of how outrageous they are, and how people are. You don't want to have like your stuff sold through like some of these online stores, because then they take a cut, obviously, of the sales and whatnot. I will say, as a consumer, I don't know what, you know, I can't speak for how to make comics, but as a consumer, I do like when I could go on someone's shop and buy multiple things at once. So if you reprint some of your old mini comics and things, like, it would make me. That's one thing I like to buy things on, like Partners and Sons website and Wig Shop and those things, is that I can buy like 5 or 6 different cartoonists' current work at once.
Yeah,
it's kind of nice. You get more bang for your buck shipping that way.
Me too. I'm always trawling all that stuff. Like, I love Rahel Suskind. I was looking for her new zine recently, and you know, she lives in Berlin, I think. So I went to go and have a look, and the book was €10. The shipping was 20. So that's not her doing that. It's just the price. It cost me $17 to send something across the border to Canada. It's prohibitive. The business is dying, basically.
Right.
You know, then I went to look around for her book. I found it on Floating World. She'd gone to Short Run. She dropped a few at Floating World. But I think they put it up to $14, and then the shipping with tax, it was basically $28 in the end. So, you know, either way. So yeah, if you can combine stuff, and yeah, it's fucking us all over, us cartoonists, and self-publishing was great for me to make more money into my pocket, and more of like a fan relationship, like, you know, consumer, reader, whatever you want to say, like more intimate. But yeah, I can't do it anymore. I'm brokering a deal right now in the UK, distro deal, to send half the books I print over to the UK, so my buddies there can ship them out and handle it. Because I used to sell thousands of books to Europe, and now just like I just packed up like 100 books last night, and I think 2 of them were international orders. So it's just not tenable anymore at all.
It's
Um,
wild. So you
yeah,
brokering this
totally.
deal, is this gonna get you anywhere close to what the sales that you had before, you think?
Well, maybe. I mean, maybe people still buy the books because they'll be able to get them cheaper. But it's just me giving up 50% of my profits. It's me
Yeah.
wholesaling to someone and just like, oh, I guess it's good to have the books out there. It's good to have
Mhm.
people, readers, access the work, keep Megg Mogg in the public's consciousness, and keep people happy. And just have to give up half the money for that. But it's just the reality. It's just what I've got to do. And
Yeah.
I don't like the digital stuff. Like, Pettinger's messed around with like, pay what you want PDFs and stuff. Garcia was doing that. They've done all right with that, I think. But I just don't like digital comics. I've just always bristled at it.
That's one thing that I really admire about you too, is like not only do you not like your work being digital, even though you have like Crisis Zone and on Instagram and whatnot, but for the most part, you want the physical thing to be in the consumer's hand. But also, that's the way you make the comics. Like you make them
Yeah,
all practically,
yeah. And then,
which I
like
think
you
is a,
said in the
go ahead.
intro, I've been self-publishing since I was 8 years old, so it's just in my blood. I don't know. I just like the object. Everything is made to be an object.
Yeah, and it's just like I don't know. I think that's in the day of AI and things, the scare of AI that everyone's afraid of. I think it's gonna go back to people that really do admire practical art. Same thing as like special effects in movies. People now are getting to the point that they admire practical effects more than CGI. Auto
Yeah.
tune with music, people admire like a true natural voice over an auto tuned voice and things.
Yeah, I think the general consumer is always going to love just like slop and crap, but it's like we're always going to see tactile stuff in the world.
Yeah.
It's interesting seeing vinyl in all the
Mhm.
Walmarts. Like, vinyl's come back. Kids love vinyl. I've seen it referred to as though it's like, collectible vinyl trading cards. Like, I think it's mostly just girls buying Taylor Swift vinyls and they don't even have a record player, not even a shit little Crosley. Like, they're just sitting it on the wall. It's just merch. It's just a
Yeah.
token, but at least I don't know. It's tactile. It's real. I mean, I got hundreds of DVDs over here, and just like I love social media, records, CDs. So much stuff that's not available on streaming. Or just, I'm not a torrenter. I'm so
Yeah.
terrified of computer viruses. And I like to pay my way. I like to support artists. I like to
For
buy
sure.
the item and own it. Yeah.
On an early issue, I don't know if it's in this or is the mini comic. I can't find it. The one that was you have on your shop right now. Is it Boys Jail or something, or what's it called?
Boys in Prison.
Boys in Prison. I can't remember where you talked about it, but you said that originally you're going to try to do this through Image Comics,
Yeah,
which is
yeah.
wild to me. How far in the process did you get with Image on that?
Oh, I've got a buddy over there. So I was just saying to him, like, maybe I could do it. And he's like, yeah, I could probably swing that. And I was like, oh, okay. I would have fucked it up though. I mean, that was like, oh, I'll do it like bi-monthly. But
Yeah,
I put out 4 issues in like 2 years. So that wouldn't have worked. But yeah, no, it's best to self-publish. I was going to do it with Fanta as well, but like, you do the math and like, okay, like, they charge like $4 or $5 a unit. I get 10 to 12% of the cover price, so we're talking like 50 cents a unit. But when I sell them myself, I make like $8 a unit, so it's just far more profitable. Or it was before the shipping prices got all fucked over the last few years, and just yeah, now I don't know what to do. Well, I mean, frankly, I work in TV now. I mean, my day job is TV stuff, so that's why I've been so slow with comics production as well. So I'm,
yeah. I wanted
kind
to
of
talk
just
about that too. You're pitching things in TV? You got an agent? Um,
yeah, I'm represented by Paradigm Talent, one of the big 6 agencies here in Los Angeles.
yeah.
Yeah, no,
Have you
yeah.
have you had anything land on TV? Like any episodes or anything you've written or anything yet? Like
I've got a show in development. We've been working on
okay,
for like 2 years. It takes so long. It's been 2 years of developing. I got a production company I've hooked up with. We've been going back and forth. We're working with a network or whatever you want to call it, and like casting. Like yesterday, today as well. I'm interviewing actors and stuff, and it's quite thrilling. We've gotten some big reads in. Like, I've got this big file where they keep coming in, all these big like celebrities reading stuff. I have to review it, and it's oh wow! Like, I'm a big nerd, so I'm like, oh, that's like an actor from The Walking Dead and stuff. Like, wow! Like, yeah, it's fun. I'm having a good time with it. It's a nice
that's
challenge
awesome.
as well. Like, I feel like with comics, like, I got to the top of the ladder, kind of. I won all the bloody awards. I've put out 8 books. I've traveled the world. I've been to every fucking festival. I'm not sick of it, but a little bit like it's not a challenge anymore. You know, I can just keep doing the same fucking thing, which I enjoy. Nice working in TV, and it's nice to be having horrible stress shits constantly and constantly being anxious about things, and just, you know, and work once again feeling like dangerous and like anything could happen. It's fun. Yeah.
Is the show you're working on, is it a Megg Mogg show?
I can't say.
Oh, okay, that's fair.
Okay, we have a bunch of stuff. Me and Pettinger have been pitching stuff around. You know, we've pitched Tedwood. We've pitched other stuff. We're trying to make up new stuff. I'm trying to write screenplays. Like, you know, but yeah, no, but we're working on a show. You know, daily. I'm just in meetings all day and just reviewing, you know, script notes, reviewing casting stuff, and yeah, it's fun. It's good.
Is it mostly like animation that you're getting into, or is it everything?
Yeah, we pitched some live action stuff, but mostly just just animation. Yeah.
I do want to say I saw an early interview where you mentioned a potential live action cast for a Megg Mogg show.
Yeah.
And you had Lindsay Lohan as Meg, Eddie Murphy as Owl, Robert Downey Jr. as Werewolf Jones, and then Nick Bakay as Mogg, which was hilarious. I had to look up that name. I'm like, who's Nick Bakay? Like, I know all the other ones, but he did the voice of Salem in Sabrina the Teenage Witch.
Yeah,
that was hilarious.
Oh, that was a joke. That was a joke. Except for Lindsay,
of course, yeah.
When we did the Hulu short with Royland a few years ago, we did actually go out to Lindsay Lohan, and she respectfully declined.
Ah.
But yeah, no, Lohan would have been great. I was working with Funny or Die, like 10 years ago. We're trying to do a Megg Mogg short. We were trying to get Lohan as well. But she'd be a good Megg. She's got a husky kind of voice, you know. She's
I wonder how far into the decline she went. Did she go to the store and buy some Megg Mogg comics and was like, whoa, okay, maybe not.
I imagine it probably didn't even get past her. Her agents,
probably not.
Probably. Actually, I sent something out to Billie Eilish recently, and it was just very swiftly like, no. But she wouldn't have seen it. Like, her people,
right.
Like, no, that's completely fucking inappropriate. Like, no.
They're like the force field before they get to the star.
Yeah. They keep the shit away from them. The Hanselmann-esque shit. Yeah.
What was
Oh,
go ahead.
I was just going to say, I feel bad. I've been so slow with the comics. You know, I was known for like being very quick and prolific, and just it pains me to be so slow with it. But also, like, whatever. I've got a day job. I've got a kid. I'm mainly just focused on making money for my child. So
right.
You know, I just work. If the Gap paid me really well, I just work at the Gap. If it doesn't, so yeah.
Well, as long as you don't become Matt Groening and just forget the comics world altogether.
Yeah. Oh, he still loves comics. I mean, I was hanging out. Me and Pettinger were hanging out with him at Comic Con last year. He's out there buying all the comics. He loves the comics.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Publishers are always trying to get the complete Life in Hell together, and you know, there's rumors out there, but yeah, he'll be back. But he's TV, but he's got like 8 kids. He's worth like $500 million or something.
Yeah.
It'd be grinding. Cartooning it kills your body. I mean, it's a grind. Like,
I was just kidding, Simon. Simon, if you get an animation deal where you make $500 million, by all means, like, don't do comics ever again.
It's never going to be that much. But my goal is just to buy a house for my kid. I mean, that's it. Just so I could die happy and know that she's secure. But me and Pettinger are talking about it all the time. Like, you know, do we just try and get out of comics at this point? Like, with the not being able to sell books. I mean, you know, like, yeah, I don't know. You sell like what 2,000 or 3,000 copies, like with a book with like Fantagraphics. Like, maybe I can sell a few more, but so the royalties on that, it's not a lot. You know, you get you spend 2 years making a book, you get $1,000 advance, you make like, I don't know, a couple of grand on at the end in royalties. Like, you can't live off that. Like, so it's just the container. I love comics. You know, I married comics at SBS. Married. I love comics, but it's just, I don't know if it's feasible from a business standpoint. Is that the right container for our writing and what the content we're making? Like, do we just start fucking self-producing animation? Do we start? Everyone's just on their fucking phones. It's so hard to sell a paper book to people in this day and age, to get them to. Well, you know, I've had 14 million monthly views on my Instagram recently. Like, it's just popping the fuck off. I'm just putting up reruns of Megg Mogg, and just like, I've had 20,000 new followers in the last week, and like 5,000 unfollows. There's just this constant churn of new people coming through. But to get them to actually enjoy the work, click through my link tree, click to my store, like, oh, maybe I'll buy this. Oh, the shipping, like, abandoned cart. So it's
Yeah.
just like a bunch of abandoned shopping carts in the woods. Like, it's the conversion rate to actually like 14 million views. I should be selling like, you know, a couple
Yeah.
of thousand copies. I'll sell like, you know, 6. Like, so it's just, I don't know. People are, but then like you were saying earlier, like people do love that tactile stuff. They're selling vinyl at Walmart. Like people still want it, but I just think right now it's in a bit of a lull. It's dying. There's a recession or whatever around the world. People are low on cash, low on funds. Comics cost like fucking 12 to 15 bucks a pop now. You got to pay all the shipping. It's just, it's not really a great delivery system for ideas. We're going
Yeah.
through a reckoning. I really believe that comics is going through a reckoning. There's great work coming out, so much great work, as good as it's always been. But it's just the consumers and just the fucking, you know, the systems. They're just, it's just hard to get the work to people in an affordable way.
Yeah, it's wild too,
Yeah.
because like the best-selling comics today are like Dogman and like Lore Olympus and like all these other like it's like the younger audience is and Raina Telgemeier, obviously like that kind of
Fucking,
crowd is
I was
still
so
buying
pissed.
comics.
I was so pissed off when Laura Olympus beat me at the Harvey. So I wanted that little Harvey Kurtzman statue. I
Oh,
was nominated for Crisis Zone, and I was beaten by. Is it Rachel Smythe who does Laura Olympus?
I'm not sure. I don't know.
Yeah,
I
talented
don't.
woman, I'm sure. Although she
Yeah,
did her award a speech at the Eisners, and she did a speech, and she was like, "Oh, really? This belongs to my assistants, my 13 assistants. Like this award's for them. Haha." I was like, "Oh, fuck you!" Like I'm grinding every day on my stuff. Like I think Harvey Kurtzman probably would have liked Crisis Zone more than Laura Olympus. I don't want to
oh,
diminish her work. It's fantastic for what it is.
yeah,
It's selling great, successful. I'm never going to shit on anyone for being great at what they do. But yeah, it really pained me losing that
yeah.
fucking
The way
Harvey.
that Kurtzman was
It
like the
haunts me.
the Kurtzman was like the godfather of like the underground comics with an X scene.
And
Like
satire. He was the king of
yeah,
satire. But
yeah.
yeah,
Like R. Crumb, Spain Rodriguez, all those guys looked up and bowed
yeah.
to Harvey Kurtzman. They didn't like superhero comics. They liked Mad Magazine and Duck Comics like Carl Barks and things.
Yeah.
So yeah, Kurtzman would totally be into Megg Mogg more than
I mean, maybe he was famously a
Laura.
bit of a ornery asshole, so he may have hated it. But still, yeah. But yeah, you mentioned Laura Olympus. It set me off. I do go down to my local Barnes and Noble, and I see all those books on the end cap
Yeah.
display, and I get my books and put them over hers. Yeah, fuck you. But yeah, no.
That's
But
amazing.
congratulations to her. Yeah, good for. And
But
the
it's
awards are
interesting though.
meaningless. I mean, people's, I've got, Angoulême prize up there, and
Yeah.
Harvey, Eisner's not Harvey. It's all good, but really, it doesn't matter in the scheme of things. They're collecting fucking dust up there, whatever. No one gives a shit. No one gives a fuck. No one cares that I won a fucking Angoulême prize. No one cares about the Eisners. It's just the actual cartoonists. The readers don't give a shit.
I mean, I guess it carries some weight. No, you don't think like Eisner Award winner or New York Times bestseller? You don't think those things might
Oh
get a
yeah.
non-reader, but like, oh, like catch their eye a little bit?
When I'm hanging out with other dads at school, they're like, what do you do? Like, oh, I'm an author, like New York Times bestseller. And, normies can understand. They're like, oh, but so I won an Angoulême prize. No one cares.
Sure.
The sales it kind of pumps the sales up. Something like the Ignatz, you ain't getting any extra sales out of that. That's so insular and small. But the Eisner, yes, you will see a verifiable like sales boost, because all the comic shops put the Eisner books out on the end cap. And the Angoulême prize, I did see, like, I think I was making like 3,000 a year in royalties, and then it jumped to 11,000. Like, oh, okay, like that's a verifiable. Again, all the comic shops put the books on the end cap, so yeah, it is good to get nominated for the awards at least, I suppose. But I don't know. Yeah, nah.
I do wonder though with like I know you can't talk about what you're working on, but let's just say hypothetically you get a
Yeah.
Megg Mogg animated series with a streaming service.
Yeah.
Do you fear like having to not having like because right now you have like no bounds of censorship at all with the way you're doing it, but do you fear like a streaming service kind of like hampering down a little bit on what you could put out there?
No, the scripts are pretty fucked up. I keep hearing like we've been pitching to Fox like different stuff, and we keep hearing they're looking for the new South Park.
Huh.
I think they're looking for stuff that's a bit, I don't know, water cooler, kind of not edgy, but just a bit honest and dicey, and just something to get people talking. We've had a lot of safe stuff for a while, I think. But yeah, no, I put some jokes in scripts recently where I'm like, this ain't gonna fly, and it just goes through, and I'm like, okay, like I really thought that was going to get flagged. But I mean, you look at different streaming sites. Like I was just watching the new Tim Robinson show, the Chair Company, and there's
Hmm.
like a big cock in it. Like there's a big scene where there's just like a big cock, and like it's. I think Netflix years ago, like the Workaholics movie, there were all like cocks in it and filth, and I know Adult Swim years ago. I was trying to work with a Megg Mogg show with Adult Swim. It all kind of fell apart, and an executive left and was changing of guard, and it didn't work out. But they were a bit of censorship talk there, like smoking, especially.
Oh,
You
really?
couldn't have a lot of smoking. I was like, well, that's not going to work. The characters need to be smoking constantly in every scene. But yeah,
Like,
no, I find not a lot of censorship these days. Really, it's yeah, it's a broadcast networks. Yes, you'll get
oh, of
censorship.
course.
Like
Yeah.
for Fox, you'll have to be careful. We've been trying to pitch like more sort of family friendly stuff to Fox, but then it's like, but I watch Family Guy clips. It's just like all like rape and paedophilia jokes. It's like, well, what is the what is the boundary here? It's a bit confusing.
It
Yeah, no,
is
not
wild,
yeah.
this like the FTC and what they will approve and not approve. It's kind of like the Comics Code Authority back in the day and how like weird the rules were on that, and that it's weird.
Just battling
But
like you get 5 fucks, you get a couple of shits, you can have a
yeah,
rape joke here. Like I think it's just you just have to fight your battles, and you can get a few of everything. Just a bouquet of horribleness.
and if they broadcast it 30 minutes later, you get a couple more fucks and a couple more shits maybe, and
Yeah,
yeah,
but with
it's
the
weird.
streaming, it all does seem to be very much free of censorship. The way books are, I mean, the way there's no. My books are X-rated sometimes. So,
Mhm.
sometimes we can't print them in China. We have to go to Singapore or something.
Hmm.
But yeah, there's no real rating systems for books for literature at all. So yeah.
I will say as a parent, I have a son as well, and he's a big time reader, and he's been getting into manga and things, and I do appreciate most manga has like an age recommendation on the back at least.
Yeah,
So, and I usually will read it through it myself for beforehand before I, let him read it or whatever, just to do my due
yeah,
diligence as a parent.
of
But
course.
so I do think books having some sort of rating system would be nice. But
I think
I
with
don't
the manga stuff, it's more sort of just reading level or reading grade or sort of helpful. So it's sort of a marketing thing, isn't it? I guess like good for 7 to 12, and
know. Oh yeah, yeah,
it doesn't seem like a warning, kind of like like an MPAA or whatever rating system.
yeah.
Yeah, but it would be
But
helpful. I mean, yeah, I should write on my books for nobody.
so you have been pitching like family friendly shows too, and working on.
Yeah, yeah. Me and Penn here back right now. We've cooked up like a fun, like it could be for kids. It's like a fun. I mean, we could make it dirty as well and pitch it elsewhere, but right now we've tooled it to kind of be like a fun kind of family friendly adventure show that you could have like toys of and stuff, and and it's still a bit weird and funny. It's surreal kind of comedy, but just there's no reason to work blue all the time.
Yeah, yeah.
And that's what they want. That's what they're looking for over there right now. Stuff that's sort of not horrible. But then they also say they're looking for the new South Park. So I don't know. It's all up in the air. We just pitched something recently. We went out, pitched to 7 different streamers. We struck out on all of them, and we were working with like a big Hollywood guy and stuff. And he's, I've never not sold a pitch, guys. I'm like, oh, good. No, struck out. We stepped onto his ship like Gru the Wanderer and just sunk it immediately.
I could see you guys doing like the new Pee Wee's Playhouse, like where like all these punk rock guys and artists and comics people come in and make this really cool weird show that kids and adults will love.
Yeah, that's what we. Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's kind of what we're trying to cook up, just something fun, and it's something I could watch with my daughter.
Yeah.
Like I'm very selective about what my kid watches. She doesn't get
Mhm.
a lot of screen time. Like I mentioned earlier, she goes to a private school, and so there's no phone. And like everyone's. It's like tech people always like protect their children from the internet. Like they know that it fucks your mind. So
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah, my kid reads the Berenstain Bears and just a bit of Tintin and old stuff like that. Well, Tintin's a bit dodgy, I guess. We'll have to wean her off some of the weirder Tintins when she gets a bit older. But yeah, just a nice adventure show that I could watch with her. 'Cause, she'll never be able to look at Megg and Mogg. She knows what they are. She's 4.5, and she's like, "Oh, you're Megg and Booger," and But shit, I'm not going to let her look at it until she's like 21 or something.
On her 21st birthday, just hand her a whole stack of your book. Like, this is the debauchery your dad was
Yeah.
getting into.
Boom! Bang him down on the table. Here you go, sweetheart. Here's your homework for.
There was one thing that you wrote too in one of the back matters of one of these comics that I again I could wish I had it because I wanted to quote it, but it was like something about like edgelords on the internet complaining about you just trying to be controversial for controversial sake, but you're like, I lived this. Like, this isn't just me trying to be like push the envelope. Like, this is my life kind of thing.
Yeah, you said edgelord saying that about me, but do you mean people calling me an edgelord?
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Of course. I get that all the time on the Blue Sky or Blue Cry, as I call it. I think I'm not on there. I don't look at. I've stopped. I don't search my name anymore. Just like I have friends like, oh, what this asshole saying about you. And it's just, don't point this out to me. I don't want to know like what these horrible, bitter, small time losers are saying about me. Like, ugh. But yeah, I've lost my train of thought now. I'm mad in my mind at Josh Pettinger.
Oh, people calling you an
all these things
edgelord.
from Blue Sky.
Yeah,
Oh
people calling you
yeah.
an edgelord.
Yeah. It's just an example I had would be like in the Werewolf Jones and Sons book, which was horribly received. No one seemed to like it. Critics wouldn't touch it. There's a strip in there, Autofocus Junior, where it's about like Werewolf Jones's kids having like a masturbation party with their friends. And a lot of people got really upset about it. My agent was really like, "You can't. This is horrible." And but it's autobiographical. I mean, it's like when I was 10, me and a bunch of friends bought a bunch of condoms, and like we'd like like trying them on, and condom sex, and kind of blew each other a bit. Like, oh, you put your mouth on me, and I'll do you, and it's like blossoming childhood, figuring things out, and just.
Yeah.
So I wrote about that, and it was also kind of like a riff on like genderqueer and all these kind of like very popular kind of graphic novels where it's all like this. They're full of sexual content. I kind of that strip was somewhat made in a way that I wanted everyone to try and cancel me. Like it was like a like a Streisand effect. Like the left would be mad at me, the right would be mad at me, everyone would be trying to call me a pedo. But I'd say to the left, like, "Well, you're pushing for all you're pushing all your sex books on people. So why not this one? Why is this one bad?" And the right wingers, I'd say, "Well, what? This is just real life. This is just autobiography. Like fuck you. I'm not advocating anything."
Mm-hmm.
But instead, the book, and no one cared, except for a few people that go around, like I said, 14 million views on Instagram. I get a lot of comments from weird Christians, like calling me a Satanist and, moral and going all weird and stuff and calling me a pedo. But yeah, I don't know, the Werewolf Jones stuff, I just find bad dad stuff really funny. I'm a good dad. So I had a shit dad. That book was me processing a really shit dad, a really absent father, and he beat the shit out of my mum and stuff. So yeah, so it's not edgelordism. I keep seeing that going around like, oh, he's just edgy, he's just a big edgelord now. It's like, oh, fuck off. Like, you're just a fucking, like, what are you? Like, it always seems to come from a place of like their own like politics and stuff, and it's just, okay, I know exactly who you are and what you think. Okay, whatever.
Yeah, I know you talked about that with Crisis Zone a bit. You thought it was funny that like in the comments as the pandemic was going on, you had like both sides kind of saying that you were trying to push you to one side or the other, saying like, "Oh, you're this thing, like you're on the right side or you're on the left side because you made a comic about this," and you're just like, "No, neither. Like I'm just making comics about what's happening in the world."
Yeah, I just like to exist in the middle as a satirist. I don't want to make a polemic. I like to exist in the middle. I love Todd Solondz. That's my favorite film director. If you've seen like Happiness, and do you know Todd Solondz? Welcome to Dollhouse.
I don't. When I was reading some of your interviews and stuff, he caught my eye, and I was like, I need to watch some more stuff of his because I know you sounded him as an influence, but
it's just like the real dark underbelly of the suburbs. And like, I don't know. I'm just processing things. I'm just processing things that have happened to me, things that I've witnessed, and just that darkness. I'm fascinated by it. So if that makes me an edgelord, then fine. I mean, I've said recently in interviews, like I like being on the knife's edge. I like being on the this dangerous way of writing, and just like, I don't know, maybe pissing people off, but maybe making people think, confusing people. I don't know. So maybe I am an edgelord. I don't know, whatever that means.
Whatever that means. But I mean, I do agree that the greatest satirists are the ones that there are no like safe people. Like they're willing to make fun of everyone. That's why like George Carlin, like you'll see sometimes like right wingers will be like, George Carlin was right about this. And I'm like, George Carlin was not on the right. Like he might have made fun of the left quite a bit because there was plenty to make fun of, but he was not a right winger.
Yeah, no, there were just no sacred cows to Carl.
Yeah.
He just saw systems everywhere and just tore them apart, and a philosopher. And and you can apply his logic on certain things, from different sides, and people can cherry pick and use things. But yeah, but very interesting comedy. Grew up loving Carlin. The big box set over there of like, all of his specials. Love Carlin.
Oh, he was amazing. But that is the unfortunate thing, that now he's past that people can't take his words and twist them to fit their narrative and things. But what
I
can
do
you
wish
do?
he was around today. I'd love to. I'd love to
Oh,
watch like a 3-hour long Carlin special. Just
oh
bring him
man,
back to life. Give him a phone. Let him doom scroll for a couple of days, and just like fuck.
he would have a field day with everything that's gone on in the last 10 years. Like it would be amazing.
He'd just tear everyone a new asshole. It'd be incredible. Yeah, and people need to be able to laugh at themselves as well. Like, people across the spectrum. I'm fucking sick of it. I'm sick of all the politics shit. I used to. My old band had a song called "Politics Are Cool" in an election year, and I wish it was like that again. I wish it was that we only really discussed it every 4 years. Well, that's how it was in my circle. Like growing up in Australia, we just didn't really think about it. I remember it's like 2010 or something, or maybe even later. I was doing a gig and I just on stage, and like my friend asked me a question, and I didn't know who the prime minister was at the time, and he just started roasting me on stage, like, you don't know who the fucking prime minister is, like, in the country you live in. Like, I was like, yeah, I don't know. Like, I was just so detached from it, just making art, enjoying music, having fun, like just living life. You didn't think about it, you didn't worry about it. It was this whole gamification and sportification of politics is just really depressing. I spend my days out, records, video games, art, and just trying to have a fun time with my daughter and reading Berenstain Bears books. I'm looking forward to some grilling today. We're going to grill up some nice German sausages. So yeah, I don't know. Everyone just needs to chill out a little bit. And I find it funny when I see like it goes around the comic scene, like just I'm some asshole or some really horrible guy or something. I've seen this. I'm behind the scenes. Like, I don't know about it, but I've been so supportive of like trying to get people publishing deals and trying to help people out, helping them with their taxes. Like, just I don't know. But people make up shit in their minds.
I'm assuming people that have never met you probably are saying things like,
yeah, probably, or maybe they have. I don't know. And it's rumors go around like game of telephone, but you really you got to try not to worry about it. And I won't lie. Sometimes it gets to me in the past. Like it just seems so unjust. Just like some horrible person just like calling me a bully, and it's like I said anything about you, and you're just like going on this like 16 tweet tirade about me, calling me a monster. Like, I've got a kid, man. I'm just trying to make money to feed my kid. Like, this is like tortious interference. It's like you're trying to like fuck with my livelihood. Fuck you. Like,
right. Yeah.
I used to love beefs and stuff back in the day. I used to love like sort of argument shit, like rap beef type crap. But I'm so over that. Like, you got to professional at a certain level, and like talking about the Law Olympus earlier. Like, I'm trying to be very respectful to like just. Everyone's just doing their thing and for everyone, and there's some real toxic pricks out there. I don't want to go into it, but the Ed Piskor situation really fucking pissed me off, and I'm still fucking pissed off. And there's a large section of the comics community that I do not for, and I just think are very, very horrible people. And it really did sour me against comics and the industry quite a lot. And then the Alex Graham stuff earlier this year as well. Again,
I saw
Alex
that
Graham made best book of the year, Devil's Grin. I don't separate the art from the artist, whatever. Just that book is like fucking brilliant.
I got issue 7 right here.
Robert is such a well-written character. I was just discussing it with Alex the other day. A very famous underground comics artist wrote to Alex and was telling her that she writes such incredible male characters. And then a few people, I would completely agree with this old underground legends take that Alex she writes characters better than any man.
Without getting into, I don't want to get into the Ed Piskor, the nasty side of things.
No, not at all.
I do know that you like traveled with him, and he was a good friend of yours and things. Do you have any like fun stories about Ed that you going on trips with him or anything?
I mean, we traveled around a lot back in the day, up to like Vancouver on the bus and around Paris and stuff. And I can't tell any stories really. It's not anything bad, but but mildly embarrassing for Ed, just because he had that their like hip hop kind of persona and stuff. But
Yeah.
I'd see behind that and just like the softer side of it. Or just like, yo, I'm gonna get so many bitches up in this crib. Like, yo, I'm hitting up the Tinder. And then he just puts his pajamas on and goes to bed. It's like, hang on, you're just going to your hotel room, Ed. What are you doing? You said you were going to get all those bitches out there. No, I gotta go sleep. But yeah, he was a lovely guy. I always knew Ed as just a lovely guy, and you know, yeah, it's it was a rough situation, and he was talking to younger girls and stuff, but I don't, he didn't actually do anything. But I don't know. But the whole thing was just a bit horrible. Just the way people pile on and like like when the things happened to Alex, like I was calling her, we were all calling her, like I don't want people to fucking kill themselves. Like we're seeing that whole thing with like the teenagers are being like sex stinged or whatever, like scammers, like lure them into like sending nudes, and I saw it in the news recently. Like a couple of teenagers are like off themselves because of like this shit. It's like just piling onto people. It's really not a good idea. You don't know where people are. Someone made a supercut of all the old K Fabes, and there was Ed saying like, "Yeah, man, Jimmy, if they ever come for me, I'm just going to go to this fucking bridge and just off myself." I mean, it was there. The signs were there. He was, like a sensitive guy. So yeah, I'm very just careful these days, and just don't like seeing these big fuck pile-ons. It bothers me because there are people's lives on the line.
I was a huge. I watched every video of Cartoonist K Fabe. I was a big fan of the channel. And I'm a big fan of Ed. I have all of his books that he did. Like, it was awful.
The loss to comics as a medium, the fact that they had 100,000 followers on that channel, what they built and what they were doing for the community, for everyone, a rising tide floats all boats.
Yes.
They were bringing comics into this new kind of stratosphere. People talking about them, engaging with them, all sorts of comics across the spectrum. So it's a huge fucking loss. Yeah.
One thing you mentioned earlier about people saying how the perception of you in the comic book industry and things. One thing I admire and I love about Manga Chat though is that you guys talk about the comics you're currently reading, and that's something that like creators for some reason have like this like weird thing where they don't read comics, or there's like, I'm just worried about my own stuff. I don't know. It's like, what are you reading today? Like, what comics are you into? They're like, like, it's weird that they don't want to talk about what they read, but you guys are just like, pick every week. You're like, I picked up this. Like, Alex Graham's got a new thing. Like,
just showing off how much money we have. I'm just like, we can afford all these shipping prices. Yeah. People just watching like, I can't afford to buy all these comics. They look really interesting. I wish I could buy those. But yeah, I mean, the idea with Manga Chat was that the rising tide floats all boats. Just to like, look, this shit's gonna die if we don't. It's like what you're doing. You're out here like engaging with people, trying to show off the comics you love and that you like, and get people engaged with this medium that you love. And that's what we were trying to do. Just if we don't talk about it and we don't get it out there and don't adopt new technology like YouTube, this thing will die. It'll keep getting smaller. We're not going to bring new practitioners in. We're not going to bring new readers in. The Dogman, Raina Telgemeier, that's all great and stuff, but will these young readers convert over to reading Olivia Shrowen comics? Like, I don't know if they will. I think they'll just start watching Netflix adaptations.
I mean, I hope so. I think one thing that's interesting about what I'm seeing like in the future of the industry is that for the last 5-6 decades, like all the new cartoonists and things were, 99% of them are primarily growing up on superhero comics because, after the Comics Code Authority and everything like besides Mad Magazine and things, like predominantly the industry was built on superheroes. So like for decades, if you were a cartoonist, you might have like eventually discovered Dan Clowes and things, but you grew up on superhero comics. But now this current generation that we're having, these kids are growing up on Dogman and Raina Telgemeier. I can't get my kid to read a superhero comic. He like has no interest in reading superheroes. But he loves Raina Telgemeier. He loves Babysitter's Club. He loves manga. He's always reading, whatever with manga you can find. So like these next group of cartoonists that come in the next 10 or 15 years are going to have this whole different influence on their way of storytelling and things. And that's kind of that's what's exciting to me is like, I want to know what kind of comics they're going to make.
Yeah. We've already seen the manga influence coming through over the last decade and stuff. It'll be interesting, see what, and just if people can make a viable, career or whatever out of it, if we can get out of the hobbyist space and, there's all this talk about unionization and like, fair wages. And it's like, yeah, but if you're making a product that's not selling, like you just kind of have to, just kind of has to hit with an audience. I think it just demand money for like, oh, I did the work, give me money. It's like, well, you've done it on your own. You wanted to make the work. I think you just have to enjoy making comics and love making them. And then hopefully it will engage with an audience and people will, but yeah, but it's tough to do. It's harder, I think, for younger people coming into, it's like the whole housing crisis thing. Young people are just having a rough bloody go.
Yeah.
In. We'll see where it goes with the old funny books, but yeah.
It is weird, like with any sort of medium now, like with the streaming services and whatnot, all the audiences are shrinking. Like everyone's like finding like their niche thing that they're into. Like, gone are the days that like MASH, like the series finale of MASH was like the highest rated TV show ever. Because there's only 2 channels at the time. It's like everyone in America had to go watch MASH. But now, like, there's like all the like TV ratings look awful compared to what they used to, but that's because everyone's just watching their own thing. And then there's like these things like streamers and YouTubers and things that people are into.
It's all fragmented. There's too much content, too much choice. You find your niche, you go with it. And it's like in the 90s, like 8-Ball and Hate were selling like 20,000 copies per issue or something, like crazy numbers, just in head shops, record stores, like hole in the wall shops. That's crazy. But there were no phones. There were no, people were, I feel like comics are coming into rotary telephones. Or just like print comics. But then web comics crashed. Like Comixology died, or they kind of killed it themselves with the weird overhaul of this. I remember getting my publishing contract with Panter in 2014, and it's like, oh, you get 8%, of cover price royalty, or 20% for digital. And I was like, oh man, digital is the future of comics. Oh man! And then I get my statement digital, and it was like $20. And I'm like, I sold like 5 books. But then I just thought, like, if you want to read the book, are you going to go and sign up to Comixology and pay them $30 for a digital thing when you can just get the book for $30 anyway? I complained, like, what? Price is the same. You don't get a physical thing. But, why would you go and do all that and give them all your details when you can probably, in less clicks, go to Pirate Bay and just get it for free?
Right.
It's
a weird thing, but then, like, Webtoons is, like, taking off. And, like, Marvel and DC are now doing comics on Webtoon, so it's like,
yes. Well,
I
was working at Tapas last year. She left Fanta, was at Tapas, the Korean webcomic company, before moving over to Abrams, back to more traditional. This on that shit is insane. Like, people are just going crazy on it. There's money to be made, I guess. For a while, I was like, Tapas on the Korean webcomic thing. And as I was saying earlier, like, should I find a new form for my content? Like, I've thought about starting a Substack or a Patreon. But I like to just, when I have a book done, I'll sell it to you. And no pressure. I followed too many Patreons where they make all these big promises and it all falls apart. They stop sending out the paper thing every month they promise. And then you're just giving them money for nothing. And it's like, So I don't want to be that person. I don't want to, like, have a slow few months and feel like I'm ripping people off. And so I've never liked the crowdfunding kind of stuff. Used to call it e-begging. But, it's a viable thing. I mean, if you want to try and get something produced, you crowdsource it. Considered it for things, but I don't know. It's all up in the air now. And I did that zombie comic, the You'll Own Nothing series, and now I'm putting that on hiatus. So I feel like there's just like two. Like, I got to start doing the Megg's Coven thing. I don't think people want to read a Megg Mogg zombie comic that costs $12 an issue, or $6 right now, because I'm desperate to get rid of them out of my fucking garage. Because the numbers are just falling down. I cannot sell books to Europe anymore, to Canada. I cannot. It's just plummeted. So, sales have really dropped down. But I just think people aren't interested in an action-based Megg Mogg zombie comic. If I could have done that very quickly and knocked it off as an experiment, great. But taking 2 years to do like a quarter of the story, terrible. So now that's going to be the new Megg's Coven. That will be on hiatus while I attempt to get going on Megg's Coven, and just throw it all out online for free.
I know you mentioned also doing like a funny one shot now. Is that still a thing that you're working on?
Yeah. I'm working on like a poster for it and stuff, like a big double. So it was that clown comic I did.
Oh, okay.
I've got to print that. I can't show you this one. This one's filthy. This is the other side, the double-sided poster. This side is like pure filth. Get me arrested. yeah, no, I've got to get that printed. I should have done that months ago, but the TV stuff keeps me busy. I'm getting paid with that. I'm like, oh, I really need to spend thousands of dollars printing a comic, getting them shipped here, having to post them all out. And we were going to do a launch in San Francisco, me and Josh and Roman Muradov. But I dropped out of that. Still trying to finish this poster. And my Fantagraphics book, we're reprinting all the old Megg Mogg stuff in. Goes back to what we were saying about the manga stuff. I'm reprinting it all in a manga format with like a belly band, like the same size as like a Viz Perfect edition.
Oh.
Just because I firmly believe that for the next decade at least, manga is the premier form physical container of comics in the Americas. Like that's what the consumer wants. You can buy the new Megg Mogg Perfect edition and put it on your shelf next to your Cat Boy and your Berserk. And just it's like those end of the aisle DC like manga size reprints.
Those compact editions, what do they call them?
Doing gangbusters, and it's in the format that the young readers expect.
I was going to ask you about those new collections because I saw that in the catalog as well. It looked like to me, I was getting the impression it's going to be like the Love and Rockets library paperbacks, where like they'll have like a Jaime volume and a Gilbert volume, but no, it's going to be manga sized.
About the perfect size, which is not too much different to the old hardback. It's just the first three books. Yeah, Megahex Amsterdam and One More Year. It's confusing because Megahex is the first book, and spoiler, Al moves out at the end, and then the next two books are set before that ending. So it's people write to me, which book do I start with? It's like I don't honestly know. Like I say, like, One More Year, which is the third book that was released. So yeah, reorder, director's cut, rejigging all those stories. So the ending of Megahex will be at the end of the new second book. So there'll be two fat books that will have a big number one and a big number two on the spine. Very clear and easy. Simon, what book do I start with? Megahex Perfect Edition number one. It's got a big number one on it. You don't even need to write to me. It's got a big number one on it.
Which is what people say is the benefit of manga. It's like, I want to read Batman. Well, where do you start? Well, you can start here. But manga, it's like volume 1, and then you go to volume 2, and then volume 3.
It's very good marketing.
The entry point is very easy on how to get into manga.
Yeah, so I'm trying to emulate that.
So it'll be 2 volumes total, this Megahex collection?
Yeah, for now, the Megahex Perfect Edition Volume 1 and Volume 2. Because I don't, with like Seeds and Stems, for instance, like the B-Sides collection, do I fold that all into it? No. And I love the design of that book. That's my favorite book, the one in the little orange piss shield. Looks like a pill bottle. That's my favorite book I've designed. Yeah. So I think I just want to keep that one in print as is. So, people, you can buy the main book 1 and 2, and then you've got these other extra ancillary books, your Werewolf Jones, your Crisis Zone, or whatnot.
I didn't want to ask because this has like all the different color paper stocks as well in Seeds and Stems, which I'm always a sucker for. Were those like the original color that the like mini comics were printed in, or is that just like a choice you made for this collection?
Where possible, yeah. So like that one you're holding up, that was printed on pink paper, I think, or maybe there was a printing with blue paper. But yeah, where possible, I tried to keep it close to the zines. But sometimes I was just like, let's go crazy now and add in some extra colors and do some tints. And
I mean, that's kind of manga influence too. Like the old Shonen Jumps have like all the different color pages in them too.
I was very late to manga. I remember going with Michael DeForge to like Anime Castle in New York like 10 years ago, and I knew nothing of manga. I just always never really engaged with it. Like I grew up on like Kimber the White Lion, Robotech, all this anime, but I never really clicked with it. Like I liked it, I watched it, but I never really became. I did like Pete Bagg or Dan Clowes or something like that. But yeah, but it's ironically since doing Manga Chat, which was a joke title, we called it Manga Chat just because manga is more popular with American comics. So we just, we'll bring people in that like manga and then trick them into reading Olivia Shrowen or Alex Graham. But since then, there's a whole shelf here. It's just like covered in like, Japanese editions of like, Suge and fucking Ibisu and just like reams of like manga I can't read. I try and run my phone over it sometimes and do like the Google Translate, but it kind of just ruins the mystique of it. But yeah, just got.
Have you been to Japan?
No. Years ago, Black Hook Press, they wanted to do a Megg Mogg book. It's 2018. It was when I was working on Bad Gateway, as I talked earlier, that really rough year where I was just like grinding. I said, I can't go. They said, we'll do the book in Japan if you come over for 3 weeks and do a tour. And I said, not possible. I cannot take 3 weeks out of this schedule. And so they said, no deal then. Okay, whatever. There's nothing I can do about it. But yeah, a 3-week guided trip of Japan would have been wonderful. But yeah, no, never been. And now I'm just afraid to travel. I famously did 10 countries in 2016 or 2015, I think. Just it was exhausting. It was a lot. I was like a rock star traveling the fucking world. It's like it was nuts. And yeah, pandemic happened and I had a kid, and those two things together, I've only flown on a plane once in the last 5 years, and I had like a full blown panic attack. Just like, that's it. I'm never going to see my daughter again. I'm dead. Fuck. Why did I go over and visit Josh Pettinger? Was it worth it? Was it worth it to die to hang out with Josh Pettinger and Nate Garcia and Jimmy Brown for a night? Yes.
One thing I do like admire and appreciate is like your relationship with your daughter, because you talk about how your parents, like, you didn't have the greatest upbringing, and you're really trying to strive to be a great father and things. Has your daughter taken to the arts of any form? Is she?
She loves comics. Initially, she hated comics. She just I think it confused her. Like, she loves picture books, but I think 12 images or on a page, she just it's too much. But now she's obsessed. She loves Simpsons comics. Just any comic, really. She loves Star Wars comics. She's obsessed with Star Wars now. She saw C-3PO in an episode of Sesame Street, and she just became obsessed with C-3PO, and it just snowballed into this complete Star Wars mania.
Isn't it funny how kids work that way?
Yeah, they just get obsessed with stuff. But yeah, I don't understand how a parent can repeat the mistakes their parents made. Like, I'm not beating the shit out of my wife. I'm not shooting up heroin under the Christmas tree. Like, I just don't understand. I mean, it's just, I don't know. Some people get broken and they just repeat patterns. I don't know. I'm not going to judge them or be, but yeah, I don't know. I just feel like it was instructive. Like, oh, don't do that. Avoid that at all costs. Like, yeah, I love my kid. I love her. We just read comics together and play in the garden. We saw a praying mantis the other week, and it was just fucking magical. And just, I love nature. I wake up every morning just like blissed out by nature, just like fascinated to be alive. Every day is a fucking miracle. So hanging out with this little kid, and it's fucking awesome.
It's amazing, isn't it? Like viewing the world through their eyes and like kind of like their experience of like discovering things for the first time is like the coolest things about being a dad.
Oh, it's just incredible. It's this little version of you, and it fills my heart with joy just to give her a good day, and just she has a good breakfast, great day at school. We, just have fun in the garden, go to the park. It's just the best. I'm so excited for the holidays. Like, just Hollywood's going to shut down. It's like, oh, good. I don't have to work for like 2 weeks. We go to the theme parks or something, go to the botanical gardens, and just, go to the snow and just have a bloody magical time. That's all I live for now. Just like the weekend and just family time, just doing a little road trip or something.
Yeah, it's one thing you said you enjoy celebrating the holidays now, which I could totally relate to that. Like, it's being able to again experience the holidays through like your child is like such a fun thing. Seeing them come down the stairs for Christmas morning or open the presents is such a cool thing.
Yeah, no, legit. Like, my mother would like shoot up like around the Christmas tree, and like she'd ask me to like loosen the bed. Really, like, I'm gonna make a big mess otherwise, Simon. So, all right, 1, 2, 3, there you go, in it goes. Like, so that did sour it for a long time. I didn't feel very Christmassy, and I was just living in share houses and stuff, and they're like, hey, let's get drunk, man, and like, I'm just gonna work. Like, I'm just gonna sit in here and just like work. But now, I mean, it's like, it's just ho ho ho, just like, setting everything up and getting ready for a hot fucking Christmas.
That's awesome. When we've talked about Manga Chat this whole time, but I forgot to ask you, when's the next episode? Where this has been on hiatus? Where's more Manga Chat? We need it.
Yeah, I think it was on hiatus for like 4 months, and then we came back strong with like weekly episodes for 4 weeks, and it just fell apart again. Like, me and Josh were out pitching together. We've been writing stuff. We've been pitching. So we've been doing our stress shitting and like out there, and so we just haven't found the time. It's like, we keep saying, should we do one this week? And it just never happens. I don't know. I actually said the other week to Josh, I was like, oh, should we just give it up and just wipe the whole fucking channel and just pretend it never happened? Also, it's just, I have thoughts about like being like mysterious artists and like not giving out too much to people so they can formulate their own like idea about you, and it adds the mystery and the excitement of that. And if you just give it all to everyone, if you just put it all out there, you give them more opportunities to dislike you. It's just, I said earlier, I think before we started recording, I was like, my goal is to just not be cancelled or not to enrage people on the internet. So yeah, with Manga Chat, I just feel like sometimes it ruined my day. Like I'd say something about someone, and then I was like, oh, that was not nice. Like fuck, like that's, and it'd haunt me all day. Just like so yeah, I can be sarcastic. I like mean jokes. So and I don't want to do that. I don't want to start drama and be a dick to people and try and bring people down, because I know how it makes me feel. So I very much try to not do that to other people. So yeah, it does feel a bit dangerous, the Manga Chat. Just me getting on there. We were bitter about things and angry about things, and it's like we don't want to.
You don't have to name names, but have you got backlash from any cartoonists or anything from something you said?
Not really stuff I've said. I don't think the people that don't like me watch Manga Chat. I think they don't engage in my content. But yeah, there's people that just have just unsolicited just said horrible things about me, and like really just like it's ruined my week. Just like I'm having like fantasies about hiring a hitman to take them out. Like fuck you. Like yeah. But it's just whatever. They're sour people. These are they always frame it as like they're the good guy and they're these virtuous lovely people. It's like you're just a horrible bitch. You're to me what you're claiming. I'm like so
it's like the whole white knighting thing of like oh, this person's doing something wrong, so it's all pointed out and get her burn them at the stake.
Yeah, try and get them to kill themselves. Oh yeah, great.
So do you feel like you won at that point? Like, come on, like
I do worry stuff like if any of this TV stuff happens and it's successful, like I've got friends that have big TV shows, and I mean Justin Roiland. I mean, like fucking hell, like it's like a fucking pariah. Like I like Justin; he's a lovely guy. But yeah, just like with notoriety or fame or whatever you want to call it, or just visibility comes detractors. Like I'm seeing it on the Instagram now. It's like the churn of new followers, and people come in and just they want to bring you down. And they want to say horrible things, and yeah, you just got to really develop a skin for it. And not everyone's going to be nice to you. You're going to have a lot of people that just yeah.
Do you read a lot of the comments and reviews and things, like negative reviews?
Yeah. I've stopped like searching my name. Like I don't go to Bluesky and search my name. I don't know what people are saying over there. Let them have their I read every review. Like I like reading my Goodreads reviews. I like reading the comments. I love seeing what the community of fans or whatever are arguing about in the comments. And the Goodreads reviews can be very instructive. A bad review can be very instructive and illustrate something that you may have missed or not thought of. And
the Goodreads reviews are interesting because I feel like it's a lot better than Amazon as far as like the quality of the review. The Goodreads reviews are like real readers, and they're like they have like real opinions about things, and you can tell them F off on whatever they're thinking if they totally misunderstood what you're going for or whatever. But they at least like are coming from a place of some sort of readership of value or something, But you can tell like they're not like it's not like Simon Hanselmann fans going on there reviewing it. It's readers of other things that are like discovering your books or whatever.
I think that's the purpose of Goodreads. So, for a community of readers to talk about reading, like a book club, whereas Amazon is just like bald consumerism. It's just, usually it's like, book was good, but it was damaged. It's like, give it a 1-star review. Like, if you say the book was good.
Those are the ones that blow my mind. Like Amazon, who is obviously crap at, sending out books or whatever. They probably purposely don't do this, but there should be a separate rating system for how the book came in than how good the book is. Because all the reviews will say, this is a great book, but it's damaged. Or my book came in and it was torn to pieces. Like, that's not the author's fault. Like, they didn't.
Yeah, don't bring my rating down. I'm trying to support my family here. But and whenever I read like a really bad, scathing Goodreads review, I'll just go and look at their other reviews and it's like, oh, they've given 5 stars to a bunch of people I have zero respect for. So, okay. Yeah.
I mean, perspective is everything, right? Like that's like, obviously I review a lot of books on my channel and things, and people will, take my opinion or not or whatever. But it's always with a grain of salt. Like, just look at my other reviews and other stuff I'm obviously into. And if you're into those same things, then maybe you can value my opinion. If you think all the comics I read are crap, then, who cares about my opinion or whatever? But
I'm very aware that not me. No one's going to like everything you do.
yeah.
So, be prepared for a bit of backlash in life in everything you do. Yeah.
So one thing, the comics that you grew up on, you said you like the first zines you made. I think you compared them like Mad Magazine. So obviously, I'm assuming you
they're a
grew up on Mad Magazine.
direct rip-off of Spy versus Spy. I literally just like cut Spy versus Spies out of them and put them next to each other.
Spy versus Spy is great. DC just released a collection a couple years ago, finally collecting all of the original Spy versus Spy comics.
Nice.
Which DC owning Mad Magazine kind of annoys me, anyways, because they don't ever reprint. That's like a rarity that they reprinted that thing.
Yeah.
I feel like all those classic Kurtzman era Mad Magazine should be reprinted in some form or fashion.
It's weird still seeing them in the supermarket. I go to the supermarket, I see they're like $15 for a Mad Magazine. So who's buying this?
Yeah, now they're doing like these like collections, like I think like quarterly, like they'll do like a Christmas Mad Magazine, and they have like strips from like all different eras and things, which is cool. I mean, I'm glad that they're keeping it. But yeah,
it's still alive. It's down to the Whole Foods. I mean, it's still
But I've seen you talk about how you like dabbled with superheroes and Image Comics until you eventually discovered Dan Klaus.
Yeah.
But I have to ask, what superhero and Image Comics were you into? Because it seems like so out of the realm of Simon Hanselmann's taste now.
Well, I mean, I was like 11 or 12 or something. The comic shop opened in Tasmania. It was a front for drugs. Most when there was another one in Hobart. There was also a front for drugs. I got really into Todd McFarlane and stuff. It was like the tail end of the Todd McFarlane Spider-Man run. Eric Larson in there. He started doing a bit of it too, and then they all defected and did Image and stuff, and that was exciting. I mean, I bought Youngblood number book, and I loved Pitt. I just loved all that stuff. Just the stuff coming out at the time. I was just, and I liked all the cartoony comics. Like there was the Rocco's Modern Life Marvel series, and like the Toxic Avenger series. I liked the cartoony. Yeah, I always did like the cartoony stuff, but I was reading the superhero stuff. I liked a bit of X-Men. I kind of found it just to be like The Bold and the Beautiful, like, Days of Our Lives. Like it was soapy. I was kind of like, this is kind of soapy. I loved Spider-Man. I think when I was like 10, I wanted to get a tattoo of Venom. I think my mother almost let me because she was like incredibly high at the time. I'm glad she fucking didn't. I wouldn't want to be stuck with a Venom tattoo.
I was just reading. It's funny that you say Spider-Man, because I was just reading I forget which book it was in. It might have been Bad Gateway, when they're dropping the acid, and they have like the Satan acid and
Mega.
Yeah, Mega. Okay, and they're like, I don't know if I want, or Al's like, I don't know if I want to take that, and then Werewolf Jones draws a Spider-Man mask on him, and he's like, here, is that better?
Spider trip. I don't want to have a spider trip.
Those speaking of that though, you had other cartoonists do some panels on their trip in that scene. Did you give them like free reign to do whatever they wanted, or did you kind of direct them like, okay, do this scene in this panel? Or
no, I asked for random panels, and I wrote that scene around it. Yeah, I have Matt Fury, Harkham, HTML Flowers. Don't know if there are any others. Johnny Negron. I just asked them to do whatever they want, and then I just kind of like wrote around it and sort of filled in around. I famously asked CF, and he just wrote back. That became like a joke in like hardcore, like the iceberg of Simon Hanselmann. Like, man, it's in there. Like the hardcores know about that.
You cut out there. What did he say?
Nah, man.
Oh.
Nah, man. I've heard the CF doesn't like me. Cartoonists, I think, are like a rip-off of me or something, and I'm like, And then there was one person I thought was a rip-off of me, but then they completely came into their own, and I love them, and now they're one of my cartoonists. Anyway, just nah, man. I love CF. I think he's brilliant. I think he's great. I mean, it's a big inspiration. So
Yeah, I know you talked about Fort Thunder and Paper Rad both being like major influences on you, and early on in your career, people like would say like you're ripping them off, and you're like, you made a comment that was funny. Is like, just because they're around my age, I'm ripping them off. But if they're old and dead, then they'd just be like influences. It's like,
yeah.
It's funny though.
They were so inspirational. They're so influential at that time, but I think they just couldn't handle it. But it is kind of ripping off. If it is your contemporaries, if you are kind of like style aping contemporaries, I guess it is kind of ripping them off or trying to like get in on their wave. I wasn't consciously trying to rip them off. I just like just loved the drawing style, and it's like, oh, that's a really fun way to draw, and it just with my Simpson-y kind of thing, and I don't know, but I've told this story before, but like I walked into a gallery in Reykjavik in Iceland in 2011, and like, wow, Paper Rat's got a show here. Like, oh no, they don't. Like, it's just like a guy who's just drawing exactly like Ben Jones. I think Sammy Harkin like did press for like a Kramer's Ergo, saying like, see what the Europeans will be ripping next year. Like, those guys were hugely influential. All that stuff, Chippendale, fucking Ben Jones, CF, Brinkman, and it's kind of waned. I feel like no one cares now.
Well, I feel like your crew now kind of has like a Fourth Thunder thing going on, where there's like this group of cartoonists that are all doing different things, but they're all kind of working together, like you and Pettinger and Nate Garcia and Alex Graham and things. But I just don't. What would you call your crew? Like Manga Chat? Like I don't.
Nah, it's just a group of friends. You know, it's like Ethan Llewellyn and like Rahel Suskind and people like that. So Jubenville, of course, Jasper, brilliant, fucking young gun. He's great.
Jasper and Nate Garcia blow my mind. Like Nate Garcia, he actually, when he was like first, I think Horn Rim 2 had come out, and he had hit me up on Instagram or something. He's like, hey, if I send you my comics, will you review them? And I'm like, sure. And he sent them into me, and I was like, you're only 18. Like, what is this? Like, how are you this talented already?
Yeah, he's got some fucking chops.
Yeah, so it's been great because I was too young to get on the ground floor of Clowes and Burns and all these other great cartoonists. But Nate Garcia, I've been trying to collect everything he's done because I was there at the beginning, and now I can get everything. I guess I should have sold them on eBay, though. This probably would make me thousands of dollars at this point, the way people flip his stuff. But
I lost my copy of Horn Rim #1. I was going through everything recently. I think in a move. It must be somewhere. I've got so many books. I've got like 4. The garage is full of books. The spare room's full of books. The living room's full of books. So, I've lost my fucking Horn Rim #1. I have all the goiters as well. I was getting all my Pettinger stuff. I think I just gave them away. Like I gave Clowes like my copy of 7, and I gave someone else like I'll get more. But now I'm just like, they're all out of print, and I just don't have a full run of goiters. So I fucked up.
One thing, you said you grew up on Simpsons comics. I know you're a big Simpsons fan. Do you have these collections from Abrams? This is pre your wife working for him, I think. But these are the Treehouse of Horror collections.
The 3-layer glow on those. Yeah, my wife got them for free for our kid. But I have like a long box over here with all. I mean, I don't have all. I sold all my ones. I grew up poor, so I buy stuff and then have to sell them if I wanted to eat. But I got a big long box here full of like I've been trying to collect every single Gru. I've almost got a complete run of Gru the Wanderer. But I got all the Radioactive Mans, all the Bartmans, all the early Simpsons Illustrated. Yeah,
I love the Radioactive Man series. It's like I think it's like 4 or 5 issues, and it goes through different periods of comics. It's like the Golden Age one.
It's like 16 of them or something. There's a ton of them.
Yeah, those are awesome. I love that series. But do you have any inside knowledge? Is Abrams planning? Yes, that one. Is Abrams planning on doing any more Simpsons collections?
Oh, I couldn't say. I don't want to get in trouble with my wife, but wink, wink, Taylor. There might be something coming down the pipe. There might be something special coming down the pipe.
That's great to hear. But because like all the old Bongo comics, like they've not been collected, and I think Disney by way of or Marvel by way of Disney might have some sort of ability to. But I want Abrams to do it because Abrams, the book design, amazing. Lovely. If Marvel did it, it would look like a boring encyclopedia because they don't care about book design at all. But
they're so hard to find now. I've been trying to track down Simpsons comics for my kid. I figured you'd be able to find old Bongo floppies real cheap, but they're nowhere. I've driven around LA to all these different little hole in the wall strip mall comic shops. Nothing. They got nothing. I went to the Santa Clarita Fair recently. They've opened up a big floor. So every weekend it's like 50 vendors, all different shit, Pokemon cards, Funkos, what have you. But there are a lot of comics vendors there, and I did find a few trades and floppies, but by talking to the vendors, the Bongo stuff is just getting really fucking hard to find. So it should be reprinted. It's good stuff. It's the early stuff, especially before it started getting a bit it's like sloppy and too much of it. But the focused early runs of all those Simpsons comics are bloody great.
Yeah, another series. Do you read the Beavis and Butthead series back in the 90s?
I did.
That Rick Parker did. That one was awesome because they were, instead of riffing on like music videos, they were riffing on comics. And Rick Parker did all the cartooning of it, and he had all the chicken fat in the back, and
It's
always
great.
that needs to be reprinted as well.
Yeah, actually, just reminded me. I got offered the gig to do Beavis and Butthead comics in like 2015 or 16 or something. Can't remember who asked me to do it, but I turned it down because I was like, I'm doing Megg Mogg, and like I'd end up just using serviceable Megg Mogg ideas in Beavis and Butthead, and I didn't want to just be like a corporate kind of license guy. Like, I just feel like you're giving up something when you just start doing licenses. But then, as I said earlier, I'd probably just work at the Gap if it paid enough. At this point, with a kid and just working for her future selflessly, I don't matter anymore. My artistic integrity is out the window. I'm just trying to sell out. We were trying to work up a fucking like Yogi Bear pitch for Fox recently. Like, me and Pettinger, like, yeah, we can do Yogi Bear.
Nobody's using that. Let's get on that.
They're trying to bring all that stuff back. I think they want to bring back. It's a great. I love Yogi Bear. I love Top Cat. I love Droopy Dog.
The old Hanna-Barbera stuff is great.
Yeah, but it's like, do you want to put your time into doing that when you could do something a bit more personal? Given the choice, I think most artists or whatever creators would choose to do something a bit more personal and to the heart, and something that belongs to you, that you could maybe sell your own property in the future. Make your own fucking Yogi Bear, kids.
That's what we're seeing in comics now too. Is like, even in like Marvel, DC, people will say like they haven't had any new characters in 25 years. I'm like, yeah, that's because you don't pay them any sort of royalties. Like, people are like, you adapt them into movies and make billions of dollars, and the people that created those characters are making nothing. One of your early works that you talked about that you advised cartoonists not to do is you had this ambitious 1,000 page project, Girl Mountain.
Oh yeah.
And you've talked about maybe collecting that eventually.
Yeah.
Is that still a possibility?
No, here it is. It's sitting on my shelf over here. No, I don't think so. I was talking to Eric at Fantagraphics last year. Like, should we just like put out an edition of it? Like, it's like 280 pages or something. Like, just as an academic thing, just like, oh, here's Simon Hanselmann's shitty, unfinished graphic novel from his early 20s. But that idea went to the wayside. I'm too busy. I've got other things to do. But yeah, it's some of it's been reprinted. I think there was like a Swedish anthology that printed a big chunk of it. But
that could be. You talked about selling out. That could be easy money in the pockets.
Yeah, but it's all a bit embarrassing as well. It's just it's not the best work, and it was a learning experience and formative, and there's still good stuff in there. But maybe I think 2 days ago I was like, maybe I should just put it all online. Just like, it's never been scanned. Like, this is literally never been scanned. I think 5 people have read it. My wife, Robin McConnell from Ink Studs. I don't even think Eric's read it. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'll just put it on a fucking Substack or a Tumblr. I'll bring Tumblr back and put it on Tumblr.
You got to find some way to monetize it. I think like you said, it's a learning experience. I think it's fascinating to see an early cartoonist's work, like looking at Dan Clowes' work in like Cracked Magazine, and then seeing how it's evolved throughout the years and things.
My work's not very good now, so like, I think people see this. I feel like I've gotten worse at drawing. I think it's just like,
really,
I have less time for it. I've always rushed everything, but now that I've got a kid and I can't do 16-hour work days anymore, it's not possible. I get to work between like maybe 10 and 3 each day, or so I'm just in meetings all day. Really, if I can be fucked, I'll try and work at night a bit, but I generally like to do the dishes and lie on the couch for a bit. I feel like my drawing has gotten worse. I look at old paintings from like 10 years ago and like, I can't do that anymore. Like, I don't have the patience. I'm just rushing to the end. It's like, just get it done. So really? It's this mix of being incredibly fastidious and like really locked in and like a perfectionist, but also rushing everything at the same time. I don't make any with hands.
Yeah, I think like a lot of the splash pages and stuff you're working on, like that's good quality stuff there.
Yeah, it could be better. I see the fault. We artists, we see the fault in everything we do. So I just see mistakes. I just see how it could be better. I see other people's work that's better. It's not doing what I want. Like, I don't have the capabilities to make the artwork that I want to make. But we all live with our skill levels and our, thresholds. And,
I do think one of your great strength, one of the things I love about a Simon Hanselmann collection is the end papers, and you see those paintings and stuff that you work on. And I know you use like watercolor food coloring for painting and things. But where did you learn to paint? Like, did you take classes for that? Is that something you worked on over time?
Just self-taught. My buddy Michael Hawkins, brilliant cartoonist from Hobart, Tasmania. He was doing all watercolor stuff. I just do black and white. I used to do lots of cross hatching and stuff in high school. Like everything was black and white, 8-ball inspired, or just that stuff. Yeah, Michael was doing a lot of watercolors, so I started dabbling with it and just kept going, and you just figure it out as you go. I just believe in self-teaching. You can go to the library. We've got our phones. You have access to YouTube videos, instructional. You can learn anything on this phone. I just doxed my child's face. I realized I just held it up and it flashed my child's face. I've never put a photo of a child online. We don't believe in that. No, it's fine. No, it was really blurry. It's fine.
I can edit that out. It's fine.
No, it's fine. Don't worry about it. Just self-taught with the painting. I got to a reasonable level with it, but painting is tough.
Yeah, like I love that art book too from Mansion Press. Yeah, I got that. Finally, I think Partners and Sons. A little tip for anybody wanting the collection. I think it's $25 on Partners and Sons website right now.
Oh, very nice. Snap that up.
Yeah.
Hot tip.
Did you design that book though?
No. It was,
I was going to say it didn't seem like it had your bells and whistles on it.
No, the Mansion Press did that. Yeah, the lettering could have been a bit more fancy or something.
Yeah.
I supplied some images and kind of a bit of.
I mean, Mansion Press still does a great job. I think they're a really cool publisher, but it just didn't seem like the Simon product,
Yeah,
I did love the anecdotes though. I think that's a really cool touch. I think all art books should have that. Like, get a little insight from the artist and what they were doing at the time and things.
Yeah, some of the paintings I had less to say about, but yeah, some of them I really had a good ramble, some stories, and again, it's just adding value. It's just like you can throw the pictures, but I can read a little thing and some funny stories, hopefully. And I really enjoyed writing about the Bellevue Museum art show in the back. I kind of got to write about that experience of doing that. That was really nice to put that on record. I had such a good time doing that.
I think, again, I just value your writing. I think it's so entertaining to just read your insight on things. I think maybe if you don't want to do like a Girl Mountain collection, you could do like a monograph of like the early works of Simon Hanselmann and just do like this part writing, part biography, part artwork. You could show some of you've done band posters in the early days, right?
Yeah.
I've never seen any of those. I'd love to see some band posters done by Simon Hanselmann.
Like, they would look like paper rad rip-offs. I'd be embarrassed for anyone to see them. There's some Instagram the posts sold like Hobart gig posters, and they posted to some of them. I was like, oh no, I don't want anyone to see that. I think one of them I'd actually just cribbed a drawing out of like a Kramer's Ergo or something. Like it was a deadline. It's I'll just do a riff on this drawing. Like it was like a Jim Drain drawing, and just completely ripped it off. It was so embarrassing. Did you do Shia LaBeouf when he just started?
Oh yes,
not that bad, not that egregious, but getting there.
Yeah, Shia LaBeouf famously ripping off Dan Clowes.
Yeah, and then he did the skywriting above LA. I'm sorry, Daniel Clowes. That was a hilarious time for Dan.
Do you know how Dan? How did he react to the skywriting? Do you know?
I think he just thought it was a bit ridiculous. As I think it's a bit surreal and a bit weird. I think it's just irritating as well. It's why is this idiot doing this? Just stop. He was ripping off Dan Nadell as well. There was a zine that Shia published, and he just wholesale took Dan Nadell's mission statement for Picture Box and just changed Picture Box to Shia LaBeouf. But mental illness. I hope he gets the treatment that he needs.
That's wild. One thing I want to ask you too is Eric Reynolds. I think he's edited all of your Fantagraphics collections. Is that right?
Oh yeah.
What kind of notes is he giving you? Because I don't as far as an editor goes. Because a lot of these things you publish already as mini comics and things. Does he give you notes to change things or?
Glorified spell checker. Just run it through ChatGTP. No. We've had battles about things. Very minor skirmishes. I think. Well, Amsterdam maybe. He was like, "Oh, I want to move this story here in the sequence," and I said, "No," and he was like, "Oh, okay." He's a great. I love Eric. I'm going to see him at the weekend on Calla. I'm excited to see him. But yeah, he lets. That's what I love about Fantagraphics. They let the artist breathe and let the artist vision. Why get in the way? It's not a huge commercial scummy enterprise. Eric is there to help. If I needed help and what do I do with the sequencing? He'd help, but I'm usually confident in what I want to do with it. But yeah, so he does all the spell checking and fixes my errors. He did say once, he was like, Simon, your books they come in the best shape, and like you are one of the more like better grammar than most of the other cartoonists. Interesting as I'm a high school dropout. I was like, oh, that's good. That's quite the compliment. But yeah, you see Pete Bagg books out there. I've talked about this before. There's like, I have a few Pete Bagg comics. It's like third print, and there's just like missing words. Like they've obviously like meant to like fill it back in before printing, and it's just it's got third printing with like a so you're reading, and then suddenly it just drops you out of the story because there's like a missing word, or like there's like a B, but it was supposed to be a P. Like obviously they had to get the white out and like get rid of the bottom of the B, but they've just forgotten. So it's just like this mangled lettering, and that stuff really throws me out of a story.
Then you go back and see who the editor was, and Eric Reynolds. What the heck?
It's Eric Reynolds. That was during his stoner period, I think. Yeah,
it's funny.
I love Eric. He's great. He's been my editor for 10, 11 years now. Yeah, took a chance on me. Oh, it was Jack Cohen who brought me into Fanta. She had to really convince them. Eric and Gary were not sold at all. And I think Sammy Harker maybe and Frank Santoro bailed them up at an SPX. I'm like, no, he's good. Like, you should do it. Like, why not? And they did it.
Have you ever heard like what does Gary Groth think of Megg Mogg? I never heard his.
Can't imagine he likes it that much. I mean, he
really?
did that interview with me years ago. I mean, he's at least engaged with the work. I think he at base level probably respects me as an artist or something, but I doubt the work is up his alley. I mean, Fantagraphics exists in sort of divisions, really. You've got like Eric with all the younger, more contemporary stuff, and Gary with the more sort of like Joe Sacco type stuff, war memoir kind of stuff, and more serious, bought in Ferris and stuff. So they have their own divisions, and kind of now Conrad Groth is in the mix doing his thing, and the company's kind of changing. It's the new Fantagraphics. They 50 years in the business, about to transition into a whole new beast. I don't know what Gary really thinks. I haven't talked to him for a while. I mean, we moved away from Seattle. We used to go to his house for Thanksgiving every year, but I don't really see him anymore. And Eric's always been my point man. And always gotten on well with Gary. One of my favourite Gary anecdotes, we went to Christmas at his house, and I'd been at a comic fest in Portland and found all these Assman magazines. It was a pornographic magazine called Assman, and I had 3 of them. And I sneakily laid them out on his coffee table at the Christmas party. And then slowly all the guests were kind of like why are all these copies of Assman magazine out on the table? And he knew it was me. He was like, he saw them and he was like, Simon! And this is obvious that I'd done it. Yeah.
That's like the next level of like the Kramer Assman episode. Like
Yeah, it was Assman magazine. Yeah, this is what the Assman would be reading. Great magazine. Like, I read it for the articles, Taylor.
Was Michael Richards on the cover?
Yeah, an interview with Michael Richards in every issue. Yeah.
I mean, he's one of the early celebrities that got canceled, like early internet got canceled or whatever. So maybe that's where he had to go. He had to go to Assman magazine.
When was that, the Michael Richards blow up?
I don't know. I feel like that was early aughts, like I want to say 2005, 2006 or something, like around that time.
They made that fucking Curb Your Enthusiasm season 6 or whatever.
Oh, that was after.
Yeah, I know it was after. But
Yeah.
And that was in the late zeros. So yeah, fucking hell, God, time makes fools of us all. Jesus Christ. Yeah, turning 44 in a couple of weeks. It's terrifying. I'm an elder statesman now. I'm an old man.
Well, happy early birthday.
Cheers, Taylor. Yeah.
Do you do anything? Do anything big for your birthday? Do you celebrate yourself a little bit?
We were gonna go to San Francisco to hang out with Pettinger. I just wanted to go down there, visit Klaus, visit Josh, visit Harry Nordlinger, go for a walk along the beach. It was mostly for my daughter. I wanted to take her to the Nintendo store down there. We'd go for a walk along the beach, see the caves, see the bison in the park. But I realized it's like 8 hours to drive there. Like it's like 5-6 hours, but you stop up with a kid a few times and you have lunch. It's like 8 hours. So I was like, fuck that. Probably go to Universal Studios. I think my kid's best friend, a little kid from school, his parents want to go to Universal, so I guess we'll go there. But yeah, no, mostly it's about my kid. I just want to do something fun with my kid on my birthday and have a good time. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, 44, big bags under the eyes, can't lose weight anymore, getting old, irrelevant. Trying to get a TV show going at 44. They keep wanting to pitch, like they want Zoomers, they want Gen Z, they want to so they're going to hate me. I'm a crusty old man.
No.
I'm still young at heart. I listen to the
Yeah.
rap music, Taylor. I keep up with what the kids are doing.
Yeah.
But yeah, starting to feel a bit creaky and a bit old. I can't drink like I used to. I used to be able to eat an entire large pizza every day and feel invincible, but no longer. Horrible reflux constantly.
I feel you. I'm 38. I just turned 38, so I'm not quite there, but I feel it though. As far as like the metabolism, and I used to be like stick thin all throughout high school and be able to eat like anything, and I would never gain weight. But now it's happening. But
we're gonna have dad bods going on.
I mean, that's the greatest thing ever. Is that dad bods became like a positive, like welcoming thing. Like we won. We won.
Yeah, I do need to get back out on my bike and exercise a bit. But yeah, general health.
So not to take any thunder from Manga Chat, but what have you been reading lately? What have you picked up? What comics have you picked up lately?
Oh God! Well, I've just been working on this TV nonsense, but I think I had a big stack of it, but I put it away. I got the new Crickets. Obviously, I haven't read it yet.
Oh.
I've got the new Rahel Seuss kind. Haven't read it yet. I got this War book, War from Neoglyphic. This sort of computery kind of weird kind of stuff. I've liked this stuff for a while. Their brother used to be my meat man. Co-op in Seattle, and got some zines off of this person's brother. But I saw this at Skylight, picked that up. It's Neoglyphic does some good stuff. I love Juliette Calais right now. I think Neoglyphic just put out one of her books. She's doing lots of zines and stuff. I love my Garcia, obviously. I love my old manga. I just got I got the entire run of all this stuff. I can't remember the author's name. Terrible. I can't remember Japanese names. Just it's like wartime, like dog comics. Some of this was in Kramer's 5, and Kramer's got 5. There's a bunch of this put in there.
Oh, wow.
Just beautiful stuff from like the 20s or something.
Yeah.
But yeah, absolutely. It looks like it's risographed or something. The colors in here are just incredible. But I think like $120. I got 12 volumes, so it's like $10 a volume. I already had a couple of them, so I gave Pettinger one as a gift. And
what's the name of that? Oh, you don't know?
You tell me.
I'll Google Translate it.
Kura something. I don't know. Just look up Japanese wartime dog comics, and it'll come up.
Okay.
I love Kuma, the Tokyo Zombie.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I have like all of his stuff in Japanese. It's fucking filthy. What's it called? What's it called? Free Cockman. That's been my favorite book this year. Free Cockman. It's just.
Have you been into the smudge manga that Living the Line's been putting out? Oh, those are
all on the shelf up there. Yeah. I've got the new one coming in the mail. I love the smudge.
Yeah, every time I get a new volume, it's like that's the best one they put out so far. Like they just increasingly get better. Like Ryan Holmberg is like such a great curator of finding like the good stuff.
Oh yeah, Living the Line are doing a great job with that. That's a fucking great line. But yeah, what else am I reading? I don't know. I love Alex Graham. I like that Cornelius book, Mark Torres. Is it?
I haven't picked that up yet. I still need to get that.
I still haven't read the whole thing. I've read like bits and bobs of it, and it's good, formally beautiful. Post Shrowen kind of stuff.
Yeah.
What else? I don't know, lots of European stuff, but there's some young guys out there. What are their names? I love Ethan Llewellyn. There's Francis Todd. It's another pole position. This kid's interesting. Moritz Junker. Yeah, he's in. You can see the Clouds. Look, that just looks like Clouds lettering there. These young Clouds boys. It's nice to see the young boys still digging Clouds, but. This is nice stuff. This kid's, got some stuff going on. He's figuring shit out, and
looks great. I've been seeing influence of Gary Panter in a lot of young cartoonists these days. Have you noticed that?
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, I can see that.
Like Jasper Krintz, he sent me some of his comics, and he's definitely on the Gary Panter trip. But
the Manson kids or the New York Manson family. Yeah. Austin English is he's not Charles Manson.
Were you a Panter fan, Gary Panter?
Oh, I love the Pants Man. Oh,
yeah.
I love Panter. Been to his house and stuff. It was amazing. Yeah. He's incredible. Just all of his Emmys up on his shelf. And
He's just there like, getting baked and making necklaces with all of his Emmys. And
That's one of the coolest things that like revelations to me, because I grew up on Pee-wee's Playhouse. I loved it. It was one of the first TV shows I bought on DVD was Pee-wee's Playhouse to like revisit it. And then I found out Gary Panter worked on it. I'm like, oh my gosh, like that's I had no idea. Like that's why I like it. That makes sense now.
Yeah, there's some bloody great artists on there. It's great. Yeah, love the Pants Man. Yeah, I wonder if he's got another book in him. He's just painting and stuff, experimenting, Gary. But yeah, I don't know if he's going to put another big book out.
He's one of those artists that I hope they come out with like a definitive like collection of some sort. Like his stuff's been so collected like here and there. Like I want like a definitive like multi-volume set of his stuff.
Yeah, the complete Panter sort of.
Yes,
I'm sure Fantagraphics will do it at some point. Gary maybe he doesn't want to do it or something. There's that big Dan Nadell thing, that big yellow.
Oh yeah.
Thing, but I think that was just sort of images and a bit random. It wasn't a complete thing.
I think it's like a sketchbook type deal.
Yeah, it's just all
which are still cool.
Oh yeah, lovely production. I
love good at sketchbooks.
Yeah, I've never kept a sketchbook myself. I just to me it just feels like a waste of time. Like when I'm going to spend time drawing, I'll just work on an actual comic that I can like print and make a zine out of and present. Maybe I should keep a sketchbook and then I'd be able to draw hands. Yeah.
That's one thing you've said too, is like people ask about like artist editions and things. You're like, but you get that's the final edition you get anyways on paper. Like, you don't do any digital touch-ups or anything like.
No, I get Fantagraphics to knock out the paper texture, but that's it. You can still see all stains. Like I've been taking, when I put stuff on Instagram these days, the reruns of Megg Mogg, I just take the photos from the books. Like, I just have the book, I just hold it open here and just take photos with my iPhone. And I can see on there, like, hairs have made it through and, like, spaghetti stains. And, like, when I'm looking at the panels up close, I'm like, oh, yeah, there's some, like, real grit on there and some real dirt. So, yeah, pointless for me to do an artist edition. You've already got it right here. These are just raw scans, essentially.
One thing I have to mention, this is totally like weird insider baseball, but one thing I enjoy is like a good puke panel. Vomit is like such a funny cartooning thing to me. Like real vomit disgusts me, but like when you see it on a comic, like the cartooning of it is hilarious. And so I have like a friends group of a chat of comics fans I'm into, or that like we enjoy comics or whatever. And every time I come across a puke panel in a comic, I send it to them and like hashtag puke panel, because puke it's prevalent in comics for some reason. But I have to give you credit for having the best puke panel I've ever seen.
Which one?
It's in one of the recent books. I don't know if it's Werewolf and Jones or Below Ambition, but it's Werewolf Jones is puking through a wastebasket. It's like one of those wire ones where the puke's going out of the wastebasket too.
That was Pettinger. Pettinger did that.
Oh, that's Pettinger. Oh,
that's one of the Pettinger episodes in there.
Okay.
Where's my favorite puke panel? I thought you were going to say this one from Crisis Zone. I'll have to find where it is. But yeah, that is the puking in the basket was a lovely Josh addition to that one. We kind of wrote those together, but I cannot claim. Where is it? It's after Werewolf Jones poisons everybody with the hamburgers. What scintillating YouTube this is.
I know. I'll edit this, but
there it is. It's Valeria the Aged.
Oh yes.
Yeah. It's like nightmarish vomit coming alive.
One day I'm going to do make a zine of like kind of like Bubbles-ish, like with like editorial type stuff. But I want to have like collect puke panels on multiple pages. Like these are my favorite puke panels in comics.
Yeah, why not? Bootleg it up.
Yeah,
I do love Bubbles. I love Bubbles. I wish Bubbles.
Oh, it's so good.
I wish Brian could edit the Comics Journal.
Yeah,
we're always shitting on the Comics Journal.
It's so weird though. The Comics Journal is like it's kind of separated from Fantagraphics in this weird way. Like even like last year, like Noah Van Sciver came out and like they had like he felt like a hit piece on one of his comics, where they like gave him a terrible review, and people were saying like that's kind of like you made it in Fantagraphics if you get a bad review in Comics Journal.
Yeah, I just think they're a bit shit. It just feels a bit dead. I go there every morning and there's just nothing there. There's nothing exciting. There's no real sense of like, lots of new comics. Like,
right.
There used to be like Frank Santoro would do a page on there, or like Sean C. Collins, and like there's R.J. Casey doing his big roundup of new zines, but it's like every month it's a bit myopic or blinkered, and I don't know. There's just Bubbles, just like the big fucking 50, 60 reviews, capsule reviews in the back. It's such a broad snapshot. It's so, the passion of Brian Baines bleeds through every page of that thing. And just, I wish he could edit the Comics Journal.
And I agree, like just the positivity towards comics as well. That's the stuff I want to see. That's why I started my YouTube channel, is because like there's so much on YouTube of like comics are dying, Marvel and DC sucks, and like they're woke or whatever, like all this stupid negative stuff about comics. And like I want to hear about the comics you love. So I created this channel. It's like I want to just talk about the stuff I enjoy, and that's what I get from like Bubbles. Like Brian is definitely like has that about him. It's like these are the comics I'm loving right now.
Yeah, that's what I was saying earlier with Manga Chat. We just wanted to like try and positively talk about things we liked, and not, we dwell on some of the stuff sometimes, but it's all part of it. This industry's changing, there's business challenges, but it's best to probably just focus on the individual artists who are making work that you like, and just
No, well, that stuff is insightful from the cartoonists themselves, the challenges of shipping and the industry and selling comics and stuff like that's all insightful. I don't take that as like you being like Debbie Downers or things.
No, but I mean, but sometimes we are a downer. Sometimes we will kind of shit talk people, but we try to really avoid that. Like, we try to move away from any kind of shit talk or like,
One thing after I was reading some of the back matter in one of your recent issues, I was like, Simon is like one of the most positive nihilists I've ever read before. Like you're like part of it's like, oh, I just want to hang out with my daughter. Like it's just so much fun. Like I just wish I could just, forget making comics and hang out with my daughter. But and then part of it's like comics are dying, and it's an all like no one's gonna have comics anymore. We can't sell. Like it's just so funny. It's like you're like nihilistic, but also you're very positive about the world.
Yeah. Like I've said throughout this, like there's more good comics coming out now than ever, and like it's great. But there's the other side where it is like it's very challenging, and it's the yin and the yang. It's the dark and the light. It's always holding hands with each other.
I mean, I'm sure like Dan Clowes and Pete Bagg have stories where they were, especially like the later part of the 90s when there was like the big crash in comics. Like I'm sure they were talking about their struggles during that time of like trying to get people to read their stuff. And I don't know. I feel like every era probably has that.
It's always peaks and valleys. History always repeats itself and goes circular. So, there's always been crashes and, hopefully it bounces back. But I just feel like we're up. To me, it feels like right now it is kind of like some sort of point in history. Like there's, I don't know. I worry about the growth of comics as a medium, or like the old systems. I just think, like you said earlier, like web comics doing massive and stuff. Like but then Comixology cannot sell American. I don't know. It's just tastes are changing and new challenges, but of course, people aren't going to stop making comics. It's a beautiful auteur medium. I love collaborative work. I'm loving doing all this TV stuff, writing with people, working with teams of people, production companies. Nothing compares to the pure bliss of being alone with a piece of paper and a pen and just telling your story and having full control over it, and just you. It's just you. It's beautiful.
It's the magic of comics, because then as the reader, I think it's like the most intimate medium as well. It's like as a reader, like it's just you with the book. Like no one's reading it with you. Like you're just enjoying like the story yourself. Like you could flip the page whenever you want to, go back and forth, go look at things that they call back to. Like so, it's like this intimate medium. Like the cartoonists is by themselves, the readers by themselves. It's this.
Yeah, you're part of it. You have to make it work. You have to make it come alive by casting your eyes and your perceptions across it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
the magic of comics.
Oh yeah, no, it is a magical medium. I hope it all gets better. I hope. I just want the shipping prices to come down.
Yeah.
If we could just sell our fucking work freely and be able to send it around the world and not be so beholden to publishers, because in terms of like we were talking about like the press stuff earlier, like what press is there to get? AV Club doesn't write about comics anymore. Who's looking at the fucking Beat? Right. All Heidi and stuff. But who the fuck is reading the Beat? Who's reading the fucking Comics Journal? Is it super welcoming to new readers? Does it seem insular? Kind of, like, but then YouTube, like K Fabe is doing a great job. You're doing a great job. Just positive people talking about the things they love, using new technology, trying to get it out there. Like, I was telling Fantagraphics for years, you got to do a fucking YouTube channel. Like, before K Fabe, I was like, you have to fucking start doing a YouTube channel. Like, why are you trying to advertise on these dying websites? Like,
I will tell you, I've applied at Fantagraphics every time they've been opening and things, and I've pitched that to them. I was like, you've got to get on YouTube, and every time you get a new book in, you've got to review it. And I have a pretty good. Like Tucker sends me out review copies quite often now, I try to make videos about them and show them or whatever. But like they should be doing that on their own channel. Like they would like if you go on the Fantagraphics YouTube channel, they have these like odd like silent flip throughs on books.
Yeah,
which is nice to see the book and you can see the interiors. But just to have someone on there, like get with the cartoonist and say, hey, I need you to for 5 minutes talk about your book. And they go on and make a video like, hey, go buy Werewolf Jones.
Yeah, I think Emily Silver, who was there a few years ago doing the sort of like internet press stuff, she was doing those flip throughs and stuff and spearheaded that. And my wife was trying to get it going for a while. Like she wanted to like go in the basement, clear a space, couple of pot plants on either side, some chairs, and yeah, you'd get cartoonists in there for when they were in town. You'd get little interviews with them, book previews, just Jaime Hernandez talking about whatever, like whoever, but it's the logistics of doing it. They need someone to go down there, film it all, edit it all. They don't have the capacity for it. Everyone's underpaid there. Everyone's struggling in publishing. Yeah. So it takes time. Like, it's like, it takes time for you to do this. That's part of the reason we don't do Manga Chat sometimes, because it'll take up like a whole day. You got to prep for it. You got to film it. You got to come down afterwards. Like, sometimes we're like, I just got to work today. And now I'm just in meetings all fucking day. Like, Monday I was in meetings. Yesterday I was in meetings. I got meetings this morning, meetings this afternoon. I got meetings tomorrow. I got meetings all next week. Like, yeah. Going to Comic Arts LA on Saturday. I'll be down there from 2 till 3 at the Fantagraphics table. If this goes out before then.
I'm going to try to get it out tomorrow. So, yes, everybody go check it out.
The 2-hour point.
I know we're getting there. I'm going to try to edit it and put some fancy things. I'll put the puke panel above the screen and everything. But thank you for your time, though. I do want to.
You're welcome.
On a timely time.
2 hours, have we?
Almost. I think we're 9 minutes short of 2 hours. But
I could talk for another hour, probably.
I would love to have you on again.
Yeah.
Maybe next time you have a new issue or something coming out. I know you're putting this on hiatus, but.
Yeah, sadly putting it on hiatus, but I got the book coming out in July. Oh, that's going to be late now, the Fanta collection, because I have to do it.
Oh, yeah.
I want to do all these paintings for it, and I should have had them done by now, but I don't. So I'm going to have to say to Eric on Saturday, like, Eric, the book's going to be really late.
So is it still going to make it out in July?
Supposed to be July, but it's not done yet, and printing takes a while, so yeah, it should have been done. But I really, like you said earlier, the paintings are nice. Like I really want to do like at least like 15 new paintings, so it's you get like 7 big double spreads and then a bunch in the back, and kind of like a gallery show in a way. And also it helps me to generate paintings to have a gallery show. I'd like to have an art show again. So
or a new art book too. You could come out with the new Mansion Press book.
And that last one, the Mansion Press, was like 10 years of work. And I kind of like in the end, I was like, is that all? Like, I thought I'd done more paintings than that. But yeah, another 10 years, another decade.
I am excited to read those collections because I'm very much an in-context reader too. It's like reading things in different contexts, you pick up different things. So I'm excited to pick up these new collections of Mega Hex to read it in a different, when you reorder things and things or whatever, but.
Yeah, I'm still trying to figure it all out. It's like, what do I do with the older strips, like the sort of more crudely drawn ones? Like, do I put them in real early or pepper them through? I'm still trying to figure it all out. And I was reading through the other day, and like something canonical. I was like, oh shit, like fuck, that strip will have to go earlier. It'll be more complicated than I initially thought. But yeah, I'm just going to write every episode down on a Post-it note and just rearrange them and just keep on moving them around until it feels good. And
you can just throw, like Todd McFarlane, apparently, when he would draw his pages, he would just throw them on the ground and mix them all up and then present the comic like that. And
that's what I used to do. I get all the stories, but with this project, there's too much of it. So I'm going to condense it down to little Post-it notes, little miniature versions, and flip them about. Yeah, I just got to get started on Megg's Coven. The writing's coming along. I got to push it forward. People don't want zombies. They want serious canon. It's been 5 years. It's been like 6 years since Bad Gateway came out. The pandemic happened. I did Crisis Zone. I had a kid. I did Below Ambition, which everyone hated. I did Werewolf Jones, which everyone hated. I did the zombie thing, which like I've kind of fallen off. But then
I think the zombie thing's awesome. Seeing Simon Hanselmann do fight scenes and things, it's like a whole new thing. Like
I do wish I could freeze time and finish it, because the Werewolf Jones stuff that was going to come up in there is like fucking amazing, and stuff with Mike and like all the characters come through and just all this. It goes a bit sci-fi in the end. Like there's some really great stuff. We actually tried to cook it up into a pitch and just like rewrote it with like human characters and tried to pitch it to a bunch of networks. We're still in the process of that, but yeah, some good stuff in there. But I don't know. My wife keeps saying, like, no one's going to, zombie stuff's tired, like, apocalypse stuff, right? But they're still making it. Like, why not make this one? Like, it's perennial. Our fear of losing everything as humans, of losing our homes, our families, that is an evergreen fear. That's never going away. So
Never, no. And
yeah.
it's kind of got to the point where like you're satirizing the zombie craze even, you know? That's
A
why I thought
little-
it would be hilarious to do Image Comics because it's like they had The Walking Dead and now it's like,
Well, that was part of it. I thought it was for like this spoof kind of like Mad Magazine version.
yeah.
That they lost The Walking Dead. Like, here's a new version. But I couldn't have kept up with the schedule. And it wouldn't have allowed me to do other things. And but yeah, it would have been fun. I wish I could have just like done it with Image monthly and knocked it off in 2 years and it'd be done. But yeah, now it's just going to float around in limbo, like underwater. Well, I might actually be. I've been talking to a publisher, not Fantagraphics, a smaller publisher, but I might collect those 4 issues. And just so it's available, but with the caveat that like this may not be continued. Like you can buy this, but it may not be continued. But I mean, I'd like to. Look, the idea was to flip back and forth because, like, at the end of that 4th issue, Meg's mother arrives, and I kind of wanted to like, okay, now the first chapter of Meg's Coven comes out, and they kind of play with each other, like an issue of the zombies, an issue of Coven, and you kind of get to see like Meg in reality dealing with her mother, and you also get to see this fantasy version of like the mother is kind of like off the drugs and like an adventure.
And heroic. Like that's kind of what I got from it. The 4th issue is like this is like the other side of things with I know you talked about how like it kind of coincides with your mother and your upbringing and things, but like this is like this, like you said, fantasy. It's like this. She's the hero of the story. The mother is.
Yeah, it's sort of what Meg always wanted. It's her mother's off the drugs, she's sober again. Like, yeah, but, yeah. So it's fun stuff to explore. But I don't know. I just got to start getting Meg's Coven out, and it's hard to focus on multiple things at once. Especially as having a kid. Like, like you can't do everything. Only so many hours a day.
Besides, like, I know you said like your recent books have been not well received and stuff, but do you feel pressure from fans? Like, are they constantly saying like, "Where's Meg's Coven?"
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I understand. Like, just no one wants shitty side comics and dumb experiments. Like, they just want the emotional core of I spent 5 years building up to something and promising Meg's Coven, and then just started doing weird stuff. But it is what it is, and I love Live Action. It may be my worst book. I don't know, but I love it. I love how aggressively horrible it is. I think it's a brilliant book. And I did notice the Amazon reviews were like 3 stars and have slowly crept up to 5. There's sort of been like a small reevaluation of that book. Yeah.
I think as fans, I want, like, first of all, you've talked about how Meg's Coven is hard to do emotionally for you because it's dealing with it's kind of revisiting a lot of traumas and things from your past.
Oh, it's just current. No, it's now. It's my mother is a mess. Like, she's like, I've been talking for 6 months because we had this big blow up. She's fucking crazy. It's so fucking hard. She's so fucking far gone. So to dwell on that material and deal with it, like doing a zombie comic was fun because it's action and something different as well. It was fun to do something different, but yeah, at this point, I think I just got to shut it down and just like, okay, I just got to do Meg's Coven.
I mean, in my opinion, whatever it means, take your time with Meg's Coven. It's going to be like, I feel like this is almost like building to like your magna opus. Like you're going to work on this thing. It's like your life's work. Like, don't rush it out. I don't think you're going to rush it out by any means, but like, don't feel like this pressure that you have to rush it out.
Well, it's just I'm just trying to respect the audience. And people did put so much time in with Megg Mogg, and like, I don't want to just keep fucking them around. I want to give them what they want. I know as a fan of stuff, like, it frustrates me when someone like, you're not doing what I want. But, it is about, it's what the artist wants and what they want to do. And there's so many factors involved. But yeah, hopefully soon. But then, if the TV show goes through and stuff, and it's like, bye-bye comics. Like, sadly, I'll always draw comics, but like, it won't be this like insatiable, like, aggressive, like, insanity.
Yeah, I wonder if there's like a possibility you could say or you can't say, but of like Meg's Coven, the story being told in a different medium, even.
It may go Game of Thrones. It may get to the point. If fingers crossed, if everything, maybe there'd be a Megg Mogg show and we would get ahead of the comics and do all the Meg's Coven that way, and that's fine. Then I can just write it and have more time with my child and my wife, living life.
And the fans still get the story in some fashion, no big deal.
They'll still be retold, but
you calling it your Winds of Winter. Maybe you've kind of manifested this into a reality. Maybe that's what's going to happen.
I hope so. Then I could buy a house. That'd be nice. But Yeah, I do love drawing the comics. When I hadn't drawn anything for a long time, and then I did that clown comic on the Instagram, and I was every second of the day I was working. I'd wake up, get the kid to school, get home, just start drawing. I'd not have lunch, and then dinner and everything, shopping, hanging out with the kid. She gets down to sleep. Then back to work. Fuck up your 1 a.m. every spare fucking second. I'd been a bit depressed before that, but then I just got so happy. Just this. I love having single focus. I love just. We're in between scripts. We're in between stuff on the TV stuff. I had nothing to do with that for a bit. So I just threw myself into that comic in like July or whenever it was in the summer. And God, it was great. I do love comics so much. It was great. And it was well received. A lot of people was like, oh, this is as good as the old stuff. And like, oh, that's nice.
One thing, the idea of a Megg Mogg TV show that I'm excited about is possible merchandise.
Yeah, toys and
I'd
stuff.
love to have some you see I have like these toys and things in the back. Like I'd love to have some Megg Mogg, an owl, and Werewolf Jones figures or dolls or whatever.
I was going to do the figures with Press Pop, the Japanese.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we're 2023. I'd been talking with them since Album Born Matura was alive, like back in 2016, and then it dropped off. They stopped communicating with me. Eric went to Japan, started talking to them. They got back in touch. We started talking. We were going to do it. We were going to make the toys. I was designing them. And then I just got really depressed in 2023. I don't know why. I just had a big depressive spell. I think because I wasn't working enough, or I don't know, but it just fell apart. I writing to them, and it always fell apart again. So maybe in another 6 years, I'll write back to them. Hey, Press Pop, let's do those dolls. I'd love to have some little figures like that. But yeah, we'll see. But only so many hours in the day, aren't there? Yeah.
Of course. But that's why when you're doing a TV show, you have like people do these things for you.
Yeah, but I've involved myself in everything. Like I've done the scripts with other people, and it's been like, I think 2019 I was working with a production company, and we had a very famous comedian doing the scripts and stuff. And oh my God, it was Klaus read it and said it was like the worst script he'd ever read. He's an Oscar-nominated screenwriter. Like, I showed it to a bunch of friends, like, oh, and yeah, I shut that down real quick.
Is that a challenge for you? Like, if you do end up doing like a Megg Mogg animated series, do you feel like this pressure to like have your hands on or all over the production of it and things?
Yeah, I'm writing all the scripts. All the stuff I do, either with Josh or with someone else. I'm hands on with fucking everything. Like that, the short I did with Hulu. I mean, that didn't work out that successfully. That didn't work out the best. So it was rushed. We rushed that out. I didn't have my hands in enough, but I tried to paint all the backgrounds but with the scripts, I'm just like, every meeting I'm there, every casting thing, I'm there. Like,
Will you be there like hands on with the animation and things, like wanting to do the backgrounds or whatever?
No, we'd have some guys come in. I can't do all those paintings. It'll have to be digital. I don't think you can really do handcrafted paintings.
I can't imagine. The production of putting those episodes out would be slower if you were to do it
it'd
that way.
be insane. And people want quicker pipelines these days. I mean, pipelines are like, a year and a half or something. They're trying to get them down. But it's as hands-on as possible. Like, the stuff I'm working on now, I mean, every meeting, all the casting stuff, all the production stuff, everything. I just, trying to segue into just being like a TV guy. I want to get to the point, the way like a Justin Roiland type did. Like, you worm your way in and you start making a show, and then you can start, the way he helped me. Like, he let me come in and do this. A bunch of guys to make these shorts, and I want to get like a Devil's Grin animated show, or like I want to start bringing up my friends, not pull the ladder up behind you, but put ladders down so people that you believe in can come in as well. I'd love to, in the next 10 years, be a producer and making people's dreams come true. That'd be fucking great.
It'd be amazing. Yeah.
Yeah. We'll see. But yeah, it's all.
Did an Alonzo Sneak cartoon, a Tedward.
God, Alonzo Sneak cartoon would be incredible. We did pitch Tedward all around town the last a month and a half. We struck out. We just found out 3 days ago. The last two streamers said no. And one of the pitches just went so well. One of the guys involved in it, he was like, if they don't pick this up, that's going to be like malpractice. Like, they cannot react this way to a pitch so positively and then not pick it up. But they didn't, for whatever reason, just wasn't the right time. Yeah, we're out there pitching more stuff. Yeah, Hollywood's in a big. There's a big article going around the other day about like, oh, now's the time for animation boom, and like, Is it? Like, I've been doing this
Yeah.
for 2 years now. Like, I don't think so. It's still pretty tepid. Like, the big Warner merger going on, like, that's gonna fuck so much stuff.
Oh yeah.
Bunch of shows got fucking cancelled. Like, it's like fucking, it's rough. The ratings aren't there. Like, it's the same animation, same as the comics, is going through a bit of a, metamorphosis, a reckoning, what have you. Yeah, but it's a fun challenge. Anyway,
Fun challenge.
I should fuck off, I guess. I've got a meeting in 50 minutes. I'm sure I've got a ton of emails, and got to go talk to some celebrities, and keep chugging on.
Rub shoulders with the famous people.
Yes, the glitterati. All these.
Well, thank you for your time, Simon. I really, really appreciate this. I'd love to have you on again in the future.
Whenever. I'll come back whenever, Taylor. Just send me an invite. I'll come on. I don't mind. I'd love to. Yeah. Again, good job with this. I watch your channel. Good. It's nice to see people like you out there talking about comics in a positive way and just trying to grow the fandom and just the medium. It's good. Thank you for your service.
I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much.
Pleasure.
Everyone keep talking comics.
Yeah, keep reading them. There's good ones out there. It's fun. Draw them. They're fun to draw.